All right, welcome Rufus the Villain. It's been a while. What's up, Nick?
What's up, Keith?
You haven't been on Rufus the Villain in a long time.
No, I mean, when was the last time you did one?
Dude,
Should we look it up real quick?
it was when I did that episode with Kurt, the scientist guy.
Oh, man, that was a while ago. Let's see.
So we're just,
I'm going to look it up.
Yep. So we're talking today about just what entertains us, like things that we find entertaining, because
August 26th.
August 26th.
Yep.
We tried to brainstorm.
And it was you and Tony.
Was it? Oh, okay. Yeah.
You were talking about your
fantasy
favorite
movies.
fantasy movies.
Yeah. So okay, I guess we're kind of going to be on the same vein today, but it'll be a new show.
We love talking about movies, though. Come on.
Well, that's where I want to start.
Before we got on, I'm like, hey, did you watch the new season of Altered Carbon?
Yeah.
I haven't gotten to that show. What about Lock and Key?
Yeah.
I don't like that one either.
So I want to start with. I want to start.
That was
with,
you saying that, by the way, not
yeah.
me.
I want to start with movies. Like, what's your favorite movie recently?
Favorite movie recently? Oh, fuck. I watched so many freaking movies, man.
I think for me, it's The Joker.
Joker was good.
Yeah, it was really good. It was a really interesting interpretation because anybody that listens to Rufus the Villain or anything here knows that I am a sufferer of mental illness.
Yeah.
So I really think it shined a pretty bright light on what that kind of can be.
He won a fucking Oscar for it.
Yeah, yeah. My favorite scene is that
I guess that's the new thing now. You play the Joker, you're pretty much you're 50-50 going to get an Oscar.
Yeah. Well, it's the character is so enticing. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
You know, he's
You think he'll do a sequel?
I hope so. Well, I hope he becomes Robert Pattinson's Joker.
I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing them do it, just to go in that same vein of like the Joker kind of being so many different types of people, and you can't nail down his origin. Maybe like have another guy come in and kind of continue on with that story.
There you go. What do you think about Colin Farrell as the Penguin?
I don't mind that.
Yeah.
I think he can pull it off. He can act.
I don't know where I saw that, but somebody posted that.
Yeah, and they got the it's I think his name's really Paul Dano. He's done a lot of smaller. He was in There Will Be Blood.
Oh,
he was
okay.
the preacher. He's a really good fucking actor. Swiss Army Man.
Oh, okay.
He's a really good fucking actor. And I was really
movies.
surprised when I saw that he was going to play that role.
Yeah.
Or I think he's playing Riddler, isn't
Riddler. Yeah.
he? Or is it the other way around?
I think it's the Riddler.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen a bunch of fan art and stuff too.
We could have just got Jim Carrey back too.
Dude, hell yeah. Well,
I love watching Jim Carrey interviews. Like I did it because he just had Sonic come out, and I love watching his interviews because he's so fucking funny.
Have you seen the interview with him talking
I
about?
would love to see him do a stand-up again.
Dude, have you seen his interview when he's talking about his love for death metal?
No.
Oh my God, he's on Arsenio Hall.
Really?
Yeah, and he's doing because he was actually instrumental for Cannibal Corpse getting famous because he put them in the first Ace Ventura.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. That's how most people have heard of Cannibal Corpse's Ace Ventura.
He's a phenomenal artist too.
Yeah, he's also another one that's a little kind of mentally ill.
Yeah, but he loves to entertain though. He
Yeah.
absolutely loves to be that guy that's
Center
always
of attention.
on because he loves performing for people.
Yeah, I heard a story. I forget where I heard this, but I guess Jim Carrey and Robin Williams were at the same party, and they were fans of each other and wanted to meet each other. And their mutual friends were like, "No, we cannot get these two together, or else it'll be like a fucking atom bomb."
Oh, dude, how awesome would that be? Those two together?
Those two riffing off each other.
Oh my god!
It would be nonstop.
That's one of those things you pay like $1,000 a ticket to watch.
Just to watch them.
Oh my god, that would sell out in like 10 minutes. Dude, I would love to see that.
It would almost be too much.
Yeah.
The riffs would just be non.
Well, did you see the Steve Martin and Martin Short? Like they did a tour together.
I think so.
Like
yeah.
A Night You're Soon to Forget or something like that. And those two are great together.
Oh yeah.
Even though I guess Steve Martin says he doesn't do stand up, but that was kind of it wasn't really stand up.
Well,
It was more like them telling stories and
theater.
Stuff. Yeah.
Like more like theater. I would.
One thing I was thinking about recently was did you see the Bruce Springsteen on Broadway?
I think so.
It's on Netflix.
I think so.
It was like 2.5, 3 hours long, but it was just him telling the story of his life pretty much.
Spoken word.
Well, no, yeah, but he played music too. And you go through, you tell a story about a song, and it just and you hear it acoustically, and it's and you really listen to the lyrics.
Yeah.
When it's going on, or when he's playing it, and you're like, oh, like Dancing in the Dark.
Oh, that's a good song.
It is a really good song. You hear the '80s version, you think of oh, well, it's him dancing with Courtney Cox on stage. But then when you really listen to the lyrics of it, it's really fucking deep shit.
So staying on the vein of movies, I kind of went on a tangent, but what would be your favorite movie you've ever seen?
My two favorite movies actually of all time are, and it's kind of weird because these two are so opposite of each other, is The Big Lebowski.
Which I hate, and you know that.
Yeah.
I know I'll catch flack for that.
I kind of forgotten that.
It's a shite movie.
And then Fight Club.
Fight Club is a great movie.
Which I was just talking to a friend of mine a few days ago or something about Fight Club. I was like, man, I haven't seen Fight Club in forever. I love that movie so much.
Yeah, that movie's so good. Like, just everything from start to finish in that movie is amazing.
Like you're not your job or how much money you have in the bank.
Yeah.
Like you're not your fucking khakis.
Yeah. Like, one of the things I really relate to in that movie is when he's laying on the couch in the opening of the movie, and he's like talking about insomnia, and he's like talking about buying stuff off Home Shopping Network. Like, I suffer from insomnia, so like I totally relate to that scene.
Well, that's one thing people do too nowadays is we kind of buy stuff to fill our lives.
Exactly.
And like I can kind of understand that now. Like I feel like I'm finally at this point where my job like I've got a good job now, and in fact they're actually kind of moving me up. So I'm going to start making more money, but I'm starting to get money in my bank account again, and like I don't really have anything to spend it on. I'm just like, I feel like I should be spending this money on something.
Yeah, it's like you said, you're not your bank account.
Yeah, but it's weird having it when you have money in your bank account and you're like, this is mine. Like I don't have any bills to pay with this. I do need to pay off a couple cards, but
that's what they call burning a hole in your pocket.
Yeah, pretty much. I get that sometimes, especially right after you get paid. You know, it's always the thing too when you get paid. You're like, you want to like treat yourself, like either like buy yourself like a good meal or buy something like, oh, I want to buy this new video game or something like that.
Yeah, for me, it's like it's funny you bring up meals. Like when I have extra money, I'm like, fuck it, let's go to the restaurant.
And that's become a bad habit for me lately. Is I eat out like a lot. Like, and I actually do try to make stuff to eat at home. Like I think about stuff to make spaghetti tonight.
Yeah.
I might make it tonight. I might try to make it tomorrow, but it's like I get off work because I work like 10 hours a day.
Yeah.
And I'm like, the last thing I want to do is fucking cook. And it's funny because I'll actually choose to like, well, it's weird. Like I'd rather like throw a pizza in the oven and wait 20 minutes than like cook something on the stove that would take 20 minutes.
Well, it's because it's less effort.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like me being a cook, like I when I get home, the last thing I want to do is cook.
Exactly.
I don't know how we got there, but my two favorite movies of all time are Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy and Good, the Bad, the Ugly.
Good, the Bad, the Ugly. Oh, that's definitely up there. That's like top 10 me.
Yeah. My girlfriend tried to watch it with me on my birthday.
She couldn't.
She said it was too slow. She just
well, Sergio Leone movies they're slow.
Yeah. Well,
but they're good.
And to be fair, it's just not her style.
Yeah.
She's like into anime and stuff like that.
Well, westerns are different. Like a good western.
Yeah.
Well, even actually, no, an old western is like a lot of times they were really slow.
That was the idea.
Like the Magnificent Seven or something.
Dude, yeah,
like
or A Fistful of Dollars.
Fistful of Dollars. What was another one?
Hang 'em High.
Hang 'em High.
Well, I'm naming all Clint Eastwood movies, but that's just.
Well, Magnificent Seven was kind of a remake of The Seven Samurai.
Well, I thought it was a direct remake of this.
Pretty much. It was an American remake.
Wasn't Stephen Baldwin in that? I think he was.
You're talking about like the movie was made in like the 60s though.
I'm thinking of a different movie then.
Okay.
I'm thinking of.
I think like Charles Brosnan was in it. I think Steve McQueen might have been.
Okay.
In it.
Okay.
Yul Brynner. Brenner,
yeah.
A lot of guys like that.
What about good action movies?
Ooh,
Die Hard, man.
Die Hard, of course. Die Hard.
Terminator.
Predator. First Predator.
Yeah.
Actually, I was one of my best, some of my favorite action movies just like currently, just because like they're pretty much the only movies that still do like they'll still do like an action movie. Was the White House Down, like London.
Oh yeah.
Like London Has Fallen, and then they just had like Angel Has Fallen.
Yeah.
And it's Gerard Butler just being Gerard Butler and just kicking ass.
Yeah.
And honestly, like they're just entertaining action movies to me. Like I like them. Like they're not like the best stories in the world, and they're kind of pretty predictable.
Yeah. Well, that's
they're still fun.
What was that movie with Viggo Mortensen where he had the naked fight scene? It was badass as fuck, like Russian.
History of Violence, which was based off a comic.
Yeah.
I remember I read the comic, and it was written by the same guy who did it was Road to Perdition.
Because he was Russian, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was just like covered in tattoos. Yeah, like that's just not that he was naked that it stood out to me. It's just that fight scene was fucking amazing.
Oh, that fight scene was great.
Fight scene.
I remember I bought that movie having never because I read the comic it was a graphic novel I should say, and I loved it. And then I watched the movie. I was like, I didn't even rent it. I just bought it.
Yeah.
And I think I watched it once.
Okay, here's a good question: best fight scene of all time in a movie?
They Live.
Oh, dude. Okay.
They Live.
I can't argue that. I can't argue.
Roddy Piper and Keith David.
I can't argue.
Just going to town on each other.
I can't argue against that. But
there's like a 10-minute fight scene. South Park recreated with the cripple fight.
Yeah. Like I'm gonna go ahead and give that
Put
number
on
one.
the fucking glasses.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and give that number
Fuck
one.
you, motherfucker.
I'm gonna give that one number one. But here's some honorable mentions.
And that's my favorite. That's cut you out. That's my favorite John Carpenter movie.
Okay.
Not Halloween. Like.
I would say Vampires would be my favorite John Carpenter movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Vampires.
Yeah. The one with James Wood.
I got Escape from New York.
I forgot about that.
That's a great one. Snake Plissken.
Yeah.
They've only ever done 2 of those. I'm like, they keep saying they're gonna redo it or remake it. Chris Pratt though is Snake Plissken.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Hell yeah. But here's my honorable mentions for good fight scenes.
Although he might be kind of funny.
That would be good though.
He'd have to be pretty tough. He'd have a pretty tough guy playing Snake Plissken.
I could see.
I mean,
that.
you could still get Kurt Russell to play him though. Kurt Russell could still pull it off.
Yeah, hell yeah. Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Tom Hardy would just fucking be beating the shit out of people.
Yeah. So what I was gonna say is Chuck Norris versus Bruce Lee in Enter the Dragon.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that would be Wesley Snipes versus Stephen Dorff in the first Blade movie.
First Blade.
That one was really good. Of course, I'd be remiss to not mention any of the Matrix fight scenes because they put so much.
The subway fight scene.
Dude. He's like, I know kung fu.
Yeah. Yes.
Like,
I think the subway fight scene was probably the best one of the Matrix movies.
yeah.
Then I tried to up it. Well, the Neo Morpheus fight was good too.
That's what I was just gonna say. Yeah.
You believe that? I was flipping through Netflix the other day. What movie was put out in '99?
Oh yeah, I believe that.
21 years old. They're making the next one right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
And it's still got Keanu Reeves and Carrie-Anne Moss is in it.
Okay, so fight.
They're saying it might deal with a younger Morpheus or something.
So I'm gonna go ahead and say any of the fight scenes in any of the John Wick movies.
Oh, dude. Yeah. We didn't even mention John Wick.
Yeah, dude.
Thanks for remembering John Wick.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, actually, when it comes to action movies in the current time, within the last 10 years, John Wick movies are by far
Keanu Reeves
hands down the best.
Well, Keanu Reeves is legit, dude. Like he did that.
They changed the action movie genre.
Yeah, well, he actually is a black belt in jiu-jitsu, Tai Chi, I think, as well. Because he did that movie Man of Tai Chi that was amazing.
I saw something about how they turned him into pretty much it's like something about the gun.
The weapon specialist.
Yeah, they turned him in pretty much. He's they made him. The whole thing was they wanted to make him pretty much a professional level.
Yeah.
On each one of those things, and they did.
Yeah, I've seen the background. I've actually seen footage of him doing the courses with the guns and one thing I really enjoy about John Wick fight scenes is he incorporates the firearm in the hand to hand.
Yeah.
Where he'll do a hold and just blam 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 blam, shoot somebody 6 times and then move on to the next person. Blam 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 blam. And the great thing about John Wick, it all starts off because it killed his dog.
Yep. Yep.
So you don't fuck with a man's
Well,
dog.
he stole his car. He was going to steal his car.
It started with his car.
Yeah.
It started with his car. But yeah, action movies.
I just love the way they shot those. Because I'm a
yeah.
big fan of I like to see how people direct things.
Mhm.
Just because I look at I just know cinema, and look at me, I sound all pretentious.
Cinema.
But no, I love the way that it's because one thing that kind of bugs me, the way action films are edited is that they're jump cut, jump cut, jump cut.
Yeah.
And the one thing that was really cool with John Wick movies was they didn't do that.
Single shots.
Single shots, there are very few cuts in there to where they're really just showing people fighting and not just not 50 fucking cuts in a scene. Yeah. And that was one thing that actually they say changed action cinema.
Oh, I believe it.
Was after they did that, and it was and I love that because that's the way I if I was to go film an action movie, I would film it that way.
Yeah.
I wouldn't edit. I wouldn't do cut every fucking 2 seconds.
Get actually physically talented people, so you don't have to cut every few seconds.
And that's honestly a big credit to the directors because those directors they were the stunt coordinators I think on the Matrix movies.
Okay.
I think they came from that.
See, I've never been a big fan of the explosion movies. Transformers, anything Michael Bay. I'll just say anything Michael Bay. I'm not a fan of.
Yeah. But also the John Wick movies, they had a great story.
Oh yeah, dude, great.
The world building and the lore and everything that was good. And you want to go to him not just because the action's good, but because the story's good. The world building is awesome.
What was his nickname? The Boogeyman?
Yeah,
or the Boogeyman's Boogeyman or something.
No, it was the
that?
Boogeyman. It was in Russian,
yeah,
Boyega or
something like that.
Oh man, how did you say that? Fuck, how did I go in Russian?
But what about did you enjoy any of the Conan movies? The original Conan?
Oh yeah,
those
Conan.
Conan.
Conan or Conan. It's just
what do you crave, Conan? The blood of my enemies and the lamentation of the women.
Yeah, there was one other thing than that.
Yeah.
I think Stranger Things did something about that.
Yeah.
Would you see that trailer for the next season of Stranger Things?
I haven't seen that. Actually, that's going to segue me to our next topic.
Okay, because they did they showed a shot of Hopper in Russia.
Oh, okay.
He's like digging a rail line or a
Trench.
No, it was for railroad
Okay.
line.
So I'm gonna. On that note, we're gonna move on from movies to TV shows.
Okay.
So go ahead and. I'm not very familiar with Stranger Things, so just kind of give me your ideas on it.
What do you mean? Give me.
Do you like it?
Yeah, it's an entertaining show.
See, I watched the first season and I just wasn't compelled to pick it back up.
Oh god, I can't remember what the second season was about. Now that I think about it.
Like, what did they call it? The Upside Down?
Yeah, the Upside Down.
And what was the monster's name in that? Like Demogorgon?
The Demogorgon.
Demogorgon, yeah.
And then they brought in the second season. I think they brought in like the Mind Flayer.
Okay, so maybe I should watch it.
Yeah, it's good.
Like we were talking earlier, like there's a lot of stuff out there that feels like it should be like right up my alley, but like I said, I started Lock and Key and just wasn't compelled to pick it back up.
Well, we both really loved Umbrella Academy. I remember.
Yeah,
They're doing a season of that,
yeah.
which I'm really looking forward to that scene where they're taking that show.
Yeah, and I've watched the first 4 episodes of The Witcher, and I love it, but for some reason I haven't been compelled to watch it again.
Yeah. Toss a coin to your Witcher. That song, man.
Dude, have you heard the Frog Leap Studios
No,
version of that song? Oh my
no,
God.
I haven't.
Yeah, that Toss a Coin to Your Witcher. I've heard like probably 20 covers of it, but Frog Leap Studios.
That was like the best thing they did for that during that show was put that song in there.
Yeah,
because it got really because people really like caught it. You know,
Yeah.
really like it became a little bit of probably like a viral song in a way.
Yeah. Like I gotta give a shout out to Frog Leap Studios. They did a metal, like a hardcore metal
Oh, he
version.
always
of it.
does good shit, man.
Yeah, it's so good. And I did
Leo
this.
Marachi.
I can't pronounce his last name. You probably got it better than I do. Man.
Well, he's what, Swedish?
He's from Norway.
Norway. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, if you guys aren't familiar, if you guys aren't familiar with him, go check his videos out. He's pretty much any song that you've ever enjoyed, he's turned it into a metal song. And he's
done some good ones.
And he never disappoints. Like he even does Wheels on the Bus Go Round and Round.
Just headbanging.
Yeah, it just tears that shit.
Yeah,
the wheels on the bus go round and round.
It's kind of a metal song, isn't it?
I would say so. Well, the structure of the song is definitely metal. Like
Yeah.
it's 2/4, 2/4, 2/4. Like yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
But how did you feel about Game of Thrones?
Well, that last season sucked.
Yeah.
I mean, there was like because the season finale for the 6th season was fucking epic as shit. You're like, what the fuck? And then the 7th season was like, really?
Well, when you have that much like backstory and stuff like that, like I guess I guess the show got ahead of George R. Martin.
Yeah, and that's actually when people say that it started getting bad was when they didn't have the books to draw off of.
Yeah, because they got ahead of like what he was doing.
Those guys are kind of overrated, though. Honestly, they signed a huge deal with Netflix though to do to create a bunch of shows.
Did they really?
Yeah, they signed like a $200 million deal with Netflix
to do different shows.
To develop shows. Yeah.
What?
And they were supposed to do a Star Wars trilogy, but then they dropped out of doing that.
Really?
Yeah, which a lot of people were kind of happy about.
Speaking of Star Wars, did you watch The Mandalorian?
Oh fuck yeah,
dude, that's so good.
Dude, that was great. That season finale was awesome too.
Yeah, we're not gonna give any spoilers because it's still going on.
Yeah, well, the second season's filming right now.
Yeah, if you guys haven't seen that, like, I guess spoiler alerts. I just love one of my favorite scenes is when he first finds. I'm not gonna call it Yoda because that's not fucking Yoda.
Well, they just refer to him as Baby Yoda. I think they're going to give him a name.
Well, because that species doesn't have a name in Star Wars lore. Which is
no one even knows where their home planet is.
Yeah, that's what's crazy. But like when Mandalore first finds him and he fights that big beast, and he like levitates the big beast, and he's like he doesn't even like acknowledge that the Force was involved there.
Yeah,
I thought that was pretty.
Well, because
awesome.
I think people still knew about the Jedi.
Yeah,
but they really didn't. I mean, most people haven't met a Jedi or seen what they've done, so they're more legend than anything.
Yeah, because it takes place a long.
I think it's like 5 years after Return of the Jedi. I think is
it
when
really?
It happens. Yeah,
I thought it was a lot longer.
So actually, even by then, people still really don't know much about the Jedi. Like it was like when the Force Awakens, they're like, and Han Solo's like, yeah, the Jedi, all that stuff, like it's all real.
Oh,
and they're like, wait, it is? And they don't, because people have kind of forgotten about it. It's just legend. It's like, oh wait, there were people who did that. They started. So they're the next phase of Star Wars. Actually, they're doing is, and I haven't like heard a ton about it, but I know a little bit. It's like the High Republic era is what they're calling it.
Oh wow!
They did this big conference with like writers and creators and everything to like pretty much plan out the next phase of Star Wars. And it's set during what's called the High Republic era, which is when the Republic was at its highest point, and the Jedi were kind of they were at their highest point, and I think when the Sith maybe are just coming into play.
Interesting.
Something like that. I don't know. I could be completely fucking wrong. I mean, go check out like the Stupendous Wave on YouTube.
Stupendous Wave.
There's some really good like YouTube Star Wars channels on, and that will give you tons and tons of fucking lore. Like I just saw today, like it was just confirmed that Palpatine was a clone.
What?
In the Rise of Skywalker. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, he was a clone.
Have you ever seen The Rookie?
You always fucking talk about The Rookie, man.
Because we're talking about shows.
Oh, and I want to mention the fact that we're talking about Star Wars right now, and they just started doing new episodes of the Clone Wars.
Clone Wars, yeah, go on that because you were talking about that.
And it's really good. Like I've actually been rewatching some of the older ones, which I love the cartoon because they're really great stories, and like they totally like they're better than the prequel movies in my opinion, hands down, because the stories are really well done, and it's just really good, and it gives you so much great lore. Actually the best part of there is actually the clone troopers, like when the main ones is Rex.
Okay.
And he's actually in what was it? Star Wars Rebels.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But they're kind of cool. Like I watched one today. It was like they did like a 4 or 5 part like story about it was like a bunch of droids like R2D2 and like a bunch of astromech droids like going and like doing a mission to help the Republic, like. Cool shit like that.
I love anything Star Wars, and like the big thing for me is like.
But you won't watch Clone Wars because you don't like the animation style.
It bugs my eyes, man. It just bugs my eye, like rolling his eyes.
And the new season so far has been good.
You know what? I'm willing to give it a chance. Like it's just one of those things that I glossed over because I didn't care for the animation. In particular, Yoda. I just don't like the way he looks.
Yoda hasn't even been in the new season yet.
Well, I've seen it in the Clone Wars, like because when I actually did have cable, it was on Cartoon Network.
Yeah.
So I did try to watch that, but.
Well, it was on Netflix for a while, but now it's on Disney Plus.
Yeah. Well, I'll gloss over Rookie since I've talked about it before.
But they say there's going to be not a prequel series, like a sequel series to Star Wars Rebels. It's going to be the next big one, where like those characters are going after. Another character, which I'm not going to spoil for anybody who hasn't seen Star Wars Rebels, because I hadn't watched it until Disney Plus came out, and I really enjoyed it a lot, actually.
Okay. Is there any other ones that you really enjoy?
What?
Any other shows that I haven't mentioned that you really enjoy?
Oh, fuck.
See,
well, we were talking about Altered Carbon before.
And which I haven't seen, which is crazy that I haven't seen it.
It's really good.
There's a new season of The Expanse. It's amazing. Anybody out there who's even heard the show once knows I love The Expanse.
Yeah, I know you do. Which I haven't watched because I don't have Amazon.
It's so good.
I haven't watched The Boys, which I love. I love the comic.
The Boys, man.
I love the comic. It's like Preacher. Like I'm a huge fan of the Preacher comic. I watched like the first season of Preacher. I think that just finished.
Yeah, I've seen all of the Preacher show, and it's underwhelming.
Yeah.
If you're a fan of the book, it's underwhelming.
Dude, the book was so fucking good.
Speaking of, this just popped into my head. Mm-hmm. And this is going to be another fucking callback. One of my favorite TV shows of all time was Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. I loved that show. I watched it every. Did
you watch the Toys That Made Us episode on that?
Yeah.
I watched that not too long ago.
Speaking of another good show, the Toys That Made Us.
I didn't realize Saban he sold it off, but then he bought it back for like way less.
Yeah,
like he made a bunch of money off that.
He made the Power Rangers,
and he's still controlling it again now, isn't he?
Yeah, and they're still making that show.
Didn't he sell it? Didn't he sell it to like
Hasbro?
He sold it to Hasbro, but he still is like a creative consultant or something.
Yeah, and he's still making all the money. He's still like any money that comes in through any Power Rangers.
Well, now you got like Saban Entertainment.
Well, yeah, I think that's actually a streaming service.
No, it's like a movie studio, or it's like kind of an entertainment company, because they financed the Jay and Silent Bob reboot, which I watched last week.
Was that any good?
I enjoyed it. It definitely had a low budget feel to it.
Yeah,
but it was good.
Yeah,
and it was more like Jay's movie than anything.
That's okay though.
Which is fine. But it was good. And of course, I had a lot of cameos. And actually, the best cameo, and it was when Ben Affleck was in it.
Oh, okay.
They did a good 5-minute scene with Ben Affleck, and it was really good because they actually they cleared up the a little bit of a spoiler. Definitely a kind of a spoiler. But I'm just gonna say it is they kind of clear up. They tell you pretty much, or they finally give you a resolution of the Chasing Amy story.
Yeah. I was kind of curious of what that was all
because it's like Holden McNeil in there, but it's really good, and I'm not going to give any of it away just because it's kind of cool when you find out about it. Yeah. But yeah, I really like that because actually Chasing Amy might be my favorite Kevin Smith movie.
Yeah, I would say the original,
even though it had kind of a down ending. it was still really good.
Yeah. I would say the original Mallrats is my favorite.
And well, he's supposed to be. He said he's writing a sequel to Mallrats, but he's also writing a sequel to Clerks.
I could do without that.
I loved Clerks 2 though, actually.
Well, I just say it's a masterpiece. Leave it for what it is. It's like when they did the next.
That movie turned like 20 years old or 25 years old recently. In fact, didn't get inducted into the Library of Congress?
I don't know.
I think I think that was, and that's like one of those highest honors is because they pick like 25 movies a year or something to.
It's like when they
get that kind of preservation status.
Which
Lucas actually, I think we might have talked about this before. He always has to stay anything like he got selected for the first Star Wars movie got selected for the Library of Congress to be like preserved for, and what Lucas did was he sent them a copy of like a special edition of the first one. They're like, no, we want the original one to preserve, and he's like, no, you can't have it. And still to this day, they're waiting for a copy of A New Hope that's unaltered. And I'm still actually really hoping for the day when Disney finally, like, since they own Fox now, and I think they own all the rights to the original movies now.
I think so, yeah.
The distribution rights. I mean, I really, really hope they like fucking like just put out the original trilogy on Blu-ray unaltered.
That'd be nice.
Like, please just fucking do that.
Because that's what I felt.
I hope there isn't some like contract thing in there with like Lucas made where they can't do that. Because people fucking want it. They put it out, I'm gonna fucking buy it. I don't care. I'll buy it right away.
I have the VHS.
I do too. That's the only way you can fucking watch them unaltered.
Yeah.
Well, they did do the DVDs, but the DVDs I guess were kind of shitty.
Yeah.
Like because they just like they were actually Laserdisc transfers. Yeah. There's actually a really cool. There's a documentary. It's like I forgot what it's called. It's but there's a little documentary on YouTube about like I think it's called like the despecialized edition where fans what they did was they took they went through like old film copies, they went through DVD copy, Laserdisc, like all these crazy copies, and they like would like piece together like little things from like each scene. Like they take a little part of this like mountain and you know from one movie one copy, and they take like a road from another copy and they put it all together.
That's weird.
And they make them like Blu-ray quality copies, and that's like the only way you can watch a really truly like high def copy of it. And it's called the despecialized edition.
That's weird.
Because they were pissed because they're like we grew up watching the unaltered movies.
That's what
we should be able to watch those. I mean, because to me, like you know, because that the original movie,
I'm wearing a Star Wars shirt right now.
The original movie won a bunch of Academy Awards, and everything they won Academy Awards for is no longer around. Like the special effects, the sound editing, all that stuff. None of it is in these newer editions. So you can't say that like, oh, well, yeah, these won all these awards. Like, no, none of that's still around. You fucked with it so much because you wanted to make it better, but you didn't make it better. I mean, some people are still like, oh, the special edition's better. Like, no. And he's fucked with those multiple times. In fact, I think even with...
I love your passion on this. Give me a fist bump.
No, even with the Phantom Menace, he went back and like, I think they had a puppet Yoda in the first one.
Yeah.
He went back and put in a digital Yoda because he didn't like how it looked. And I guess he fucked with those like 7 times or something, is what I heard. It's just what I heard. But he fucked with those multiple times after he even put them out. Like those were movies he wanted to make, and he still fucked with them later on. And I mean, you know me, I'm pretty passionate. I have a Han shot first tattoo.
Oh, I know.
Which I mean, it was very much like, hey, don't fuck with the original. And they still fucked with that. I think when they put it on Disney Plus, they still fucked with that scene again. To make it to where they both shot at the same time, I guess.
Right? Yeah, Greedo
and I think in the original Star Wars script, Han did shoot first.
Right? Yeah, that's the whole thing.
That's why that's why I have his Han shot first.
Well,
that to me is more of a like I like the original movies. I don't like them to be altered with. Like Spielberg is obviously something I'm very passionate about.
Keep going.
Spielberg, he did that thing with E.T. where he took the guns out of the scene when the kids are like flying over the police cars. And he made them. He turned them into walkie-talkies. Later on, he actually said, he's like, you know, I actually regretted doing that. He's like, I wish I wouldn't changed the movie that way. And I don't know if they kind of redid it to where like they put it back in the way it was or made it the way it was. I kind of hope they did because Spielberg would be like, yeah, I shouldn't have done that. And it was like, okay, just change it back. James Cameron, he did something like not too recently with T2. He was like, there was one thing in that movie that bothered me. It's like I didn't want to change anything else like for special effects. But there was one thing that bothered me. It was this tiny little mistake of like a mirror flying out of like a semi truck. And then it was back the very next scene. And he's like, that's the only thing I fixed.
Dude, in T2.
Because he's like, it just bothered me for years.
Speaking in T2, when he goes up and smashes the phone, it's already broken. If you look at it, it's already broken.
Yeah, see, just little movie mistakes like you just notice, and like that's the only things he wanted to change.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if he changed that one.
Yeah. But the last TV show that I want to mention that is near and dear to my heart is, of course, Firefly.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the box right now.
Yeah,
Well, me too. I have a Firefly tattoo as well.
Yeah, like you can't take this guy from me.
Yeah.
Like one of the best theme songs of all time.
I rewatch it every few years.
Yeah, I have the DVD series, and I think it's on Netflix or something like that.
Yeah, they even put it on Disney Plus. It's probably on Hulu, I'm betting.
Yeah. So for the uninitiated out there, if you guys have never heard of Firefly, how would you even start to explain it? It's cowboys in outer space.
Which honestly, like you can totally see like The Mandalorian.
Yeah, it fit right into that.
No, totally. They kind of pretty much took their formula and made it in Star Wars.
Yeah.
It really is.
Some of the best characters ever either too, like Mal Reynolds, Zoe, Wash, help me name them all. Jane, Book, River, Simon, and what's the mechanic? Nara. And what's the mechanic's name?
Oh fuck,
dude! I know, right? Like, and she was like one of my favorites. She always
Did she have like a boy's name?
Yeah. And she had a boyish type character too.
Yeah.
But like
Jewel, I remember the actress's name was Jewel Staite.
Well, see, that's more important that you actually know her real name. But I always like the
That kind of sucks. We can't remember her name.
It'll come to us like as we're hitting done.
Yeah.
But like I just really loved the dynamic of all the characters and like Mal's like one-liners. Like I swear by my pretty bonnet that I'll end you. You remember that? That's the first episode.
Yeah. That show is just so.
It's just iconic in every way.
I'm betting this. Sorry. I'm going through this Firefly like.
And one of the interesting things in Firefly is there's no alien contact whatsoever.
No, they did that one little scene about like they were at like a sideshow.
Oh yeah.
And
But I thought it was like Joss Whedon, the same guy that did Buffy the Vampire Slayer, which is another show that I just really loved.
Which I've never watched.
Yeah,
it just seemed too cheesy for me.
Dude, I can't lie, it's cheesy.
Oh, you know what we didn't mention yet? The show is We Love. And the one, actually, I think it was the first thing we ever bonded over was Supernatural.
Oh, that's right, dude. How did we know?
I think that's honestly how we became friends. I think that's honestly how we became friends.
Yeah, I was like, dude, check this show out.
Like we worked together, but I think we became friends when we're talking about Supernatural.
I introduced it to you, didn't I?
Because I always knew about it, but I never watched it.
And
I was like,
obsessed.
Oh, it seems so cheesy and everything. And you're like, no, dude, it's really good. And I just it was on Netflix. I just started watching it. I was like,
so
dude,
good.
I'm in like season 3, like a week later.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I'm on season 3 now. It's like, this is fucking awesome.
I can't believe it's finally over.
Just about.
Yeah, it's like. That I can't hear the song "Carry On My Wayward Son" without thinking of.
No, every time I hear it.
Yeah, Dean and Sam. I watched the anime, which was lacking because they had Steven, but not Jared. So
which makes no sense.
Yeah, I don't know why he opted out of it. Maybe they didn't offer it to him or something like that.
Yeah,
but I thought it was amazing.
Just because this kind of stuff always bugs me, I have to
figure it out real quick.
Yeah.
Oh God, what was her name? That's gonna drive me crazy. She always had the parasol umbrella.
Yeah. Kaylee. Okay. She's so cute too.
Yeah, she is.
Oh God. And I forgot she was on Stargate Atlantis.
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
And I remember watching her on like a show when she was really young.
Dude, how did we not talk about Star Trek?
Oh, I kept meaning to bring that up.
Star Trek. What was your favorite Star Trek series?
Ooh.
For me, it was Next Generation.
You know, I do.
Because
I do love Next Gen.
Next Gen simply.
That's the one you can really go back to most.
Well, for me,
and you just watch it all after like season 2.
Well, for me,
after Riker got a beard.
Yeah.
So you don't watch it before.
Well, that was the one that was on the air and new while I was growing up.
Mm-hmm. No, me too.
So that's And then,
I remember watching a VHS copy of my dad actually watched the original Star Trek. He had all his own VHS.
Yeah, I've seen all of those.
I never really into the original. Like
They're good. They're good, but Next Gen is so much better.
I remember watching that season or the series finale of Next Generation. That was one of my earliest like memories of watching a TV show like that. Watching that and watching the original Star Wars trilogy on Sci-Fi one day at my grandmother's house.
Nice.
Probably my 2 earliest memories of watching like a movie or a TV show.
Nice. I always okay.
And that was like 94 it ended, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Fuck, dude.
So I know I've asked this question before. Mm-hmm. In a fight, Captain Picard, Captain Kirk. Hand to hand, Captain Kirk.
Oh yeah, hand to hand.
Hand to hand, Captain Kirk. In space, Picard.
Yeah,
because he's got Data and Riker.
He's more he kind of thinks ahead more.
He's more tactical, but
Yeah.
Captain Kirk did jujitsu.
Yeah.
So I got
What?
Yeah. Dude, William Shatner's got a black belt in jiu-jitsu.
Does he really?
Yeah.
He's kind of fat though.
Well, he's also almost like 70.
Yeah, that's true. How long's he been bald?
No,
like people say.
who knows? So one of my next topics, like I know you're not going to have a lot to put into it.
Oh, I did
go
want
ahead.
to mention when you talk about favorite Star Trek show. Like, I've again, like for probably the 5th time, I've been rewatching a little bit of DS9.
DS9 was good.
But only like the Dominion parts, or like I'm skipping a lot just because I'm like I rewatched it like maybe a few months back. But one thing I love like when it comes to I just need a show to watch, I always go back to Star Trek.
Star Trek's always good. I haven't watched what's the newest one with Scott Bakula? Not Scott Bakula. The guy from Quantum Leap.
Yeah, that was Enterprise.
Enterprise. I haven't
Enterprise
seen
was good when they did like the Xindi War.
I haven't seen it.
I think it was like
so
a second season. It started getting really good after that. And people kind of bag on that as like the worst one, but honestly, it wasn't that bad.
I haven't seen it, so I don't have any input.
And it was the last like real kind of like Star Trek show without like all this crazy shit.
Yeah.
It was more, yeah. It was probably actually the last like real Star Trek show in my opinion. Like I watched the first season of Discovery. I do want to watch the second season just because, but it wasn't like super like impressed. It's not really like rewatchable for me.
Oh,
and you
okay.
can't just jump in at any point really. It's like you kind of
Talking about Enterprise?
No, I'm talking about Discovery.
Oh, Discovery. Okay.
I do actually really look forward to watching Picard after that's finished. Like I'll pick that one up on Blu-ray.
Hell yeah.
Because with Discovery, I'm kind of just waiting for like a sale. Like to save like $5 on buying the DVDs.
Yeah. Picard, like you said.
But when Picard makes it to like, because I refuse to get like the CBS All Access shit. I'm like,
hell no.
I mean, I could just buy it for a week or like do the free trial and cancel it, but no, fuck that.
Yeah.
I could watch all the Star Trek.
Well, like the only reason I have Disney Plus is a friend shared their account with me.
Well, I got it because there's a lot of stuff on there like I'll like to rewatch, like a lot of the Marvel stuff.
The Gargoyle cartoon.
And I watch a lot of the cartoons. I actually probably watch more of the cartoons than anything.
Like so, that's actually my next one is cartoons.
Yeah. But I was gonna say like I do want to watch Picard when it's finished.
Oh hell yeah!
I watched the first episode because they put it on YouTube for free.
Really?
Yeah, they did. I don't know if it's still on there, but yeah, I do want to watch Picard when that's finished.
If it's still on YouTube, man, I'm going to that like right away.
No, I don't think I think they only put it on there for like a few weeks.
Just like,
I'll look it up right now.
Just like a teaser.
No, they did the entire first episode.
It's like the first hits for free, man.
Yeah.
The first hits for free.
Then you got to chase that dragon. Oh, you know what? One show I was watching recently was that's always really good to watch is Narcos.
Narcos is a good show.
Narcos, they've been doing Narcos Mexico.
Dude, what about Breaking Bad?
Oh,
dude, Breaking Bad.
That to me is actually still one of the best of all time.
I would have
which
to
I mean
agree.
most people say.
I would have to agree with that. Did you see his most recent Mountain Dew commercial?
Oh yeah,
He's doing the Jack Palance.
Here's Mountain Dew Zero.
I thought that was pretty awesome. So,
did you see Doctor Sleep?
I haven't.
Oh, I watched it actually recently. It was like I didn't know what to expect. Obviously it wasn't as good as The Shining, but it still kind of had that kind of thing. Like,
and it's the son, right?
The son, yeah, it's Danny Torrance, and he's trying to like protect this girl who's like a kind of.
Does he still have the shinin?
Yeah, he does. But it's the whole thing is like this group of people who like eat The Shining out of people.
Really?
Yeah.
Sorry, that's a vape cough, guys. Sorry.
No, I actually call it like steam.
Really?
They kill these people like or kids. They like find these kids who have The Shining, and they like kill them, and they like eat this like they're pretty much eating their soul.
Oh.
Like they call it like steam, and they open up and they just start like breathing it in, and
It's like The Quickening. The Highlander, that's another good movie. I keep thinking of movies. But like a real quick set, like I don't think Nick's gonna have a lot to put on this, but like one of my big things that entertains me is reading about true crime.
Mm-hmm.
And like I recently listened to, big shout out to the last podcast on the left. They were playing 911 phone calls, and dude,
yeah, it's gone. The first episode's gone. By the way, they took it off.
Well, I know it's sick, but it was highly entertaining to listen to these crazy ass. Like they played that phone call where that monkey ate that lady's face.
Yeah.
And she's just like, shoot him. Like, it's just fucking crazy. And like I told you about the guy that like killed his family, and then he calls 911. And then they played this one phone call. It's actually two phone calls that they took place in the 60s. And they were from two different payphones,
mm-hmm.
and they ended up calling this guy the whiny killer. Yeah, seriously, like he
the whiny killer.
Yeah, because he only killed two people, but only two people.
Only two people.
Well,
One isn't enough.
well, to be considered a serial killer, you have to kill 3 people.
3 people. Oh.
Okay.
Okay. I always wondered that.
Yeah, it has to, and there's a difference between spree and serial. Like say if you shoot 20 people, you're not
It's a spree.
Yeah, you're
Spree.
yeah. But what I'm getting
This
at,
guy went on a killing spree.
yeah, there's spree. There's
Which
like,
I'd probably expect from you.
yeah.
Although I don't know, you'd probably want to be called a serial killer. And I was like, I don't want to be known as a spree killer. Like, so I'm going to do some serial killing.
That's right. That's right. You guys know this shit.
And it's going to be very specific. Some people, people will be doing true crime podcasts.
And you guys wouldn't be surprised either. It's like on that one episode, like, what would you do if you knew you were gonna die? I was like, kill somebody. But
I might make a bunch of money doing interviews about you.
You'd get the exclusive.
People will be like, they'll be like skimming. They'll be like listening to all our podcasts.
Yeah. It's like, where did you see you starting to slip? But
when did the cannibalism start?
That was good, man. That was good. But basically, this guy, the 2 people that he killed, he went to a payphone and called 911. He's like, I just killed somebody. Oh my god, what am I gonna do? Like he was like literally crying on the phone. Yeah, but if I end up going to jail for murder, Nick gets the exclusives. But yeah, we'll move on.
The exclusives.
The exclusive interview.
Oh, who's getting the exclusive interview? Me.
You. Yeah.
Oh, me.
Yeah. So we'll move on.
So Keith, why did you do it? What was your motivation?
Oh, boredom.
Boredom? Oh. Just don't kill me.
All right, so
and your girlfriend. Don't kill your girlfriend.
Yeah, we don't want that.
And you know what? I just realized is your dog will probably just like if it was like here at your house, your dog is just standing there the whole time. Like,
she wouldn't do nothing. She wouldn't do nothing. She wouldn't do nothing.
It's like she'll come and start licking up the blood.
You know, here's
she did that before, didn't she?
Yeah, she did. When I cut myself on the window,
yeah.
she fucking cleaned up like a 3-foot spot on the floor.
Yeah.
I went back to mop it up and I was like, what?
Like, what happened to that blood? Anyway.
So let's move on to art. So what is some of
art?
some of your favorite artists?
Van Gogh.
Van Gogh. I typically go towards this is predictable, but I typically go towards like comic book artists.
Yeah. Jack Kirby.
Fuck
Kirby's
yeah,
big one.
yeah. Jim Lee.
Yeah, I love street artists.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Banksy's
Banksy.
a good one. There's a guy in Vegas I really love. He goes by the moniker of Recycled Propaganda. And I bought like 3 or 4 pieces from him actually. And I would actually really love to buy some more art from him.
I think
in the future.
John Romita Jr. He's the guy that actually designed the tattoo. He didn't design my tattoo.
Is it Romita?
I always say it wrong.
Ramada.
I always say it wrong. It's
Ramada.
It's Ramita. that's just like I'm from Tucson.
Yeah.
That's a Ramada, not a Ramita. That's a Ramada.
We don't really have any Ramadas out here.
Yeah, Go to Reed Park. There's dozens of them.
Okay. Dozens of. I know what you're saying. Ramada. Yeah. I thought you were at the hotel.
Oh,
I thought you were talking about the hotel.
Yeah.
No, I mean, you know, one thing with me, actually, I was thinking about this, actually, I think today, maybe, or last night, when it comes to art, like, because I look at a lot of things and I find them as being, like, artistically beautiful. Like, I look at guitars, for instance.
Well, art's a very broad term.
Yeah, I mean, I look at guitars and I find them to be beautiful, really more in an aesthetic sense.
Aesthetics, yeah.
And I'm big into aesthetics, like, with that.
I see architecture as art.
See, I've never really found a lot of like I see them occasionally, but when it comes to architecture, I don't really find a lot. Well,
think about
artistic.
Think about the Taj Mahal.
Oh yeah,
that's what I'm getting at. Like not like the studio here, but you know, like Big Ben.
I mean, yeah, I don't see a lot of homes that are like
what service does the Eiffel Tower serve as being other than just being a large piece of art?
Well, wasn't it meant to be like a radio tower?
I don't know. I'm showing my ignorance. I don't know.
Or started out as being a radio tower, something like that. Yeah. But no, and like other things like cars.
Oh, okay.
Like a lot of times I'll look at a car and I can see
it's a piece of art. Yeah. Look at like what's the car from Supernatural?
The Camaro? Or not, it's not Camaro. It's not El Camino.
I just remember Baby. That's all I remember.
I think it's Chevelle.
I just don't know enough.
I think it's just Chevelle.
I think you're right. I just don't know enough about cars to know the names. But like my dad could look at a car and I automatically be like, oh yeah, this is this from this year. You know, like, so he appreciates that type of art.
Yeah, and I mean,
but you know, been a long time since I've talked to him.
I remember watching a documentary once about people who like design like everyday objects, like for instance like a fork or something like that, or like like people like who design like computers or even actually glasses.
There you go.
Like we were just in Goodwill earlier, we were looking at glasses.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, they'd be like, we'd see like fucking 30 different types of glasses.
Like, oh, that's cool. Oh, that's cool.
And that's that kind of thing where you can kind of just look at it and appreciate it for like the artistry of it.
Even
Even though it's not really meant to be a piece of art, it kind of is.
Well, like these glasses here are probably like manufactured.
Yeah.
But like hand blown glass is fucking amazing. That shit's fucking amazing. Like I used to smoke a lot of weed.
Yeah.
And like I would never smoke unless I actually had a piece of hand blown glass. Like
it's weird for me to think like, and I kind of hate to like say like my siblings aren't artistic at all or have artistic thinking about them, but I've always been kind of more the artistic person in the family.
Yeah.
Like, like making art and just like
photography,
making actual like paintings. Like my brother's got a bunch of his paintings hanging up in his house, which I always love to see. That's one thing I love about giving someone a painting for a gift is like you can walk in their house like 5 years from now and you still see it hanging in their house. And
it's funny, dude. Like we're almost an hour in, and we're only through 4 of my topics. So like we can cut off at any time. But like
I'm enjoying this. Actually, this is a fun conversation. We haven't had one of these conversations in a long time.
Exactly.
Normally when we get on a philosophical conversation,
we usually cut it off.
We do about 20 minutes to an hour.
Yeah,
20 minutes.
I'm enjoying it too, man. So let's just keep rolling. I didn't mean to cut you off. I just wanted to.
No,
I just wanted to let you know I still have a fucking list.
I mean, well, it's just talking about art is actually. I mean, hell, actually, that should.
What is art?
That actually would be a good
write that down
question.
for another. Write that down.
Maybe
for
we'll do
later.
that next. Because I got a couple. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll save that and we'll keep moving then.
Yeah.
Okay, so cartoons.
Well, my favorite of all time, Batman the Animated Series.
Oh, dude, gotta agree with you on that. Gotta agree with you on that.
I have a tattoo of it, like the very end scene.
See, it's funny that we picked the topic of like what entertains us, and more than one. So, I have a tattoo of that. Like I have a tattoo.
It's like the third time I think I said that.
I have a tattoo of it right here.
Yeah.
One of mine was the Spider-Man the animated series.
Yeah, that was a great one.
Yeah,
the mid-90s one.
Yeah, that was great. And Darkwing Duck was one that I really enjoyed. You ever watch Darkwing Duck?
Yeah. Gargoyles.
We
love
Gargoyles. Which
actually had a couple people from Star Trek and Next Gen.
Yeah, I mean,
Marina Sirtis and Jonathan Frakes.
Yeah, that's the official.
And I think Brent Spiner did some voice work for them
He
too.
did. He was. I have a picture of him in my head.
He wasn't one of the main gargoyles.
No, he wasn't one of the gargoyles. He was one of Xanatos' guys.
Oh, okay.
He was the guy that had the cropped white hair.
No, that wasn't him.
Okay. We'll just have to do some research on that. And then, you were
talking about the Avengers cartoon.
Oh, dude, I love the Avengers cartoons. Yeah. I love and the Tron cartoon was really good.
Oh yeah, you know what? You're right. I didn't even. Damn, dude, awesome! Like you watched that because that was a really good cartoon. Actually, it was very like one of those ones no one ever really heard about.
I enjoy cartoons more than I enjoy like live action shows.
Yeah.
I'll watch a cartoon over like.
Well, adult and kid too.
Oh, dude, hell yeah, dude! Cartoons are like my favorite.
I spent like $80 buying the Batman animated series Blu-ray.
Do you remember?
Batman Beyond Blu-ray.
Yeah. Do you remember the Jackie Chan cartoon?
A little bit.
I watched the fuck out of that, dude. I watched the fuck out of that. The Jackie Chan cartoon was fun because the thing is he didn't actually do his own voice in that cartoon. It was some other actor that did his voice.
Well, I loved watching when I was younger, like Tailspin, Chippendale's Rescue Rangers,
Chippendale Rescue,
Gummy Bears. Yeah. What were some other ones? Tailspin. Did I say Tailspin?
What about Dinosaurs?
No, didn't watch that.
The Dinosaurs.
G.I. Joe was a big one for me. I probably watched Transformers.
Centurions.
No.
Never saw that?
He-Man was one.
Thundercats.
I was not really a Thundercats fan.
Yeah, He-Man was awesome, dude. I fucking loved me some He-Man.
Yeah.
I remember because like on Saturday mornings in the 80s before high school, or I wasn't in high school in the 80s. In the 80s, I would watch the Police Academy cartoon.
There was a Police Academy cartoon? Yeah. Have you been watching them on Netflix lately?
No.
They put like all of them on Netflix.
No.
Dude, you got to watch them.
I will. But
it's something good to fall asleep to.
Well, I watched the Police Academy cartoon, then it was the RoboCop cartoon, and then it was a cartoon called Cops.
Can you believe there was a RoboCop cartoon?
Yes, I can. It was called Prime Directive.
Still, it's a RoboCop cartoon. That was like the biggest R-rated movie.
Yeah, but did you ever watch Cops?
No.
It was an acronym. It stood for something. but each one of them had like a special power.
Yeah.
And like they like
Well, in like the 80s and 90s, early 90s, like they would put out these cartoons. Like they would actually, like, and that's one thing about watching like the Toys That Made Us, is you start to realize about how they put out the cartoon as a way to sell toys.
Oh yeah.
And when we were kids, we didn't think about that. They're like, oh no, this is awesome cartoon. Like the biggest one actually.
He-Man.
Well, He-Man and no, because that started out as a toy line that turned to a comic book that turned into a TV series.
Yeah, because they put the comic book in with the toy.
But the biggest one and the one that really made the most was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. Yeah,
that one, because that went from the comic book, and then this one guy like got the rights, and they turned it into the cartoon, and well, they turned it into the action figure, and they made it the cartoon.
And the original comic book was dark as fuck.
Oh yeah, big time.
Dark as fuck.
Super dark.
And the only way you could tell the turtles apart was their weapons.
And then
And there's
that's one cool thing. Like I think right now we're kind of making the point. Like we both cannot recommend watching like the Toys That Made Us.
Yeah.
More than
Yeah.
That's one of the big shows. I'm like, you want to know like the origins of a lot of stuff.
Oh yeah, dude.
Especially in the 80s and early 90s
like
cartoons.
like Barbie, like that. And
I didn't watch the Barbie one.
Well, I never grew up.
Like
I never
shit.
actually. I had a lot of female cousins growing up, and the Barbie episode was actually pretty interesting because they talk about like the female image and stuff like that, and how it actually was a thing.
Well, G.I. Joe.
The Tick.
The Tick.
Dude,
That was
the
a good one.
Tick.
I did watch the Tick.
Well, we already mentioned like the Spider-Man
And they would
X-Men.
they pump out these episodes like nobody's business. They do like 50 episodes like a year.
They don't do that anymore.
Or no, they do like 40 episodes in like a 1 year span.
And you got to remember in the 80s and 90s, it's all hand drawn.
Oh yeah.
That's all hand drawn.
Yeah, if you were, yeah.
What about Felix the Cat?
I don't think I ever. I might have watched a little bit of it.
Yeah, I watched a shitload of Felix the Cat, and then there was
and all the cartoons look the same too.
Yeah,
the animation style.
Oh yeah, because it was a lot of the same artists.
Unless it was from Japan.
What about Eek the Cat?
Eek the Cat.
You know,
I might have watched that.
He was like a big purple cat.
Well, Heathcliff was one I watched.
Heathcliff, Garfield.
Garfield, yeah. Fuck, man.
Dude, cartoons are awesome.
We're such 90s. Like,
yeah, we are 90s kids.
We
man.
are 90s kids.
And the Superman animated series was really good
Oh
too.
yeah, the Superman. I actually would really love to watch that one again.
It was good.
It wasn't as good as Batman.
Batman is the standard.
But it still was good.
With Kevin Conroy.
Mm-hmm.
Like whenever I read a Batman comic book, I hear Kevin Conroy's voice.
Definitely.
And when I read Joker, I hear Mark Hamill's voice.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody that is worth their salt that's ever done the Joker is imitating Mark Hamill.
Well, my favorite Batman is Kevin Conroy. My favorite Joker is Mark Hamill.
Yeah, dude, there's just no way around that.
Yeah.
Man, that just is what it
The
is.
Joker laugh from Mark Hamill. Oh my
Dude,
god,
it's the best. It's the best. And I remember halfway through the series, they changed artists. I forget what the guys' names were, but they changed Joker's look.
Yeah, it was like season 4 or something.
Yeah, they changed the Joker's look, and
Yeah, well, they changed his eyes.
That's
and
the
his
big
chin.
thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, and his nose got all long and pointy.
Yeah. Because they were trying to make him look more sinister or something. I stopped watching after that. When it came like the Batman and Robin Adventures, I think is what it was.
Yeah.
Or the New Adventures of Batman and Robin. That's when I stopped watching it.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of some other really great cartoons because that's like cartoons are like what raised me.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to remember.
Well, one I really love, it's like, well, more something modern would be Metalocalypse.
Dude, Beetlejuice.
I watched Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice was Metalocalypse is great though. Did you ever watch the Doomstar Requiem?
Oh my god,
so good.
Well, that show was amazing when it was serious, and when it got to serious points, we're like, oh my god, this show is so fucking good. And then they do the silly shit, but I'm still pissed to this day, and I really hope that at some point they'll finally be able to finish the story. But Cartoon Network's always been like, no, we're not going to let you finish it, even though he had it paid for. He's like, hey, he went to them and was like, hey, this season will be fully paid for if you just let me do it. And they were like, no.
And isn't it the same?
It's like they have some grudge against him doing the last fucking season. And he'll still actually do like metal. Like he did one, I think, not too long ago where he did a show as Death Clock.
Really?
Yeah. Because he still puts out music under Galacticon, I think.
Yeah. Dude, and the Death Clock albums are amazing.
Oh my god,
dude.
I love them. They're some of my favorite
good.
metal albums.
Like Thunder Horse?
Yeah.
Thunder Horse is
Well, this is the beginning. Oh my god, like
any one of them. Vikings.
Galaxy.
What's the Viking one?
Oh fuck.
Like Vikings Rise or something like that.
I can't remember. Like,
you know what I'm talking
they're
about.
so good. The music is so good.
Isn't the singer from Cannibal Corpse?
Yep.
Chris something.
Well, he wasn't singing. Nathan, who was singing as Nathan the Explosion, was actually like a
dude from Lamb of God.
Well, he was in the show.
Well,
yeah. He was playing like the guy with the white hair.
Yeah.
Because Brendan Small was the one who was doing.
a terrible person.
Yeah. Well, Brendan Small was the one who was doing Nathan the Explosion.
Right.
Because he was doing everything except for like the drums, I think.
Yeah. That's so good.
I love Metalocalypse so much.
How about Aqua Teen Hunger Force?
That show was okay for a while.
I like the
it
first.
It got so worn out.
I like the first couple seasons.
Yeah, the first couple seasons were really good. We'll see Lab 2021. This is like early days Adult Swim.
Mm-hmm. Remember The Head?
The Head. I don't think I ever
Beavis
watched
and
it.
Butthead.
Beavis and Butthead. Oh fuck, man. And Flux was one I really loved. That was the first like anime I really liked, actually.
Yeah, that's good stuff. So this is a good transition. Well, let's go to music. You and I both fucking love Queen.
Mm-hmm.
Like that.
Oh man, I heard like Bohemian Rhapsody for the first time in a while a couple days ago.
Yeah,
I was like, fuck.
So
whenever a Queen song comes on, I mean, come on.
Queen is awesome.
And I think it was actually shown just recently, like it was scientifically proven that Freddie Mercury was the greatest singer of all time.
Oh yeah, because of his range.
Yeah,
because of his range.
But
and it had something to do with his teeth.
But come on, he totally was.
Well, dude,
and still is.
Yeah. But what was that video where they're dancing on a table?
Oh fuck.
A crazy little thing called love.
Crazy thing.
Yeah. That dude, Queen was amazing. But I was talking to my girlfriend last night. Like I was in a bunch of different cliques in high school, based on music. Like when I first got into music or first got into high school, I was hardcore punk rock. It was all the Dead Kennedys, No Effects.
Yep. My friends when I got out of high school were all like punk rock guys.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of some other like Yuppie Side. Dude, there's just all these obscure punk bands that aren't relevant anymore. But I was like super punk rock for a long time, and then I discovered fucking hardcore metal, which that I still listen to this day. But I had a 3 to 4 year phase of I was raver.
Well, this was a time too when we were in high school. Was when
well, cliques were
cliques were. I mean, I don't know how it is in high school nowadays, but music cliques were definitely a big thing. Because nowadays, I'm like, people listen to everything.
Yeah.
People don't really ask me like, what kind of music do you listen to? It's like, I fucking put it like I listen to everything.
Yeah. Well, that was you bring up a good point.
It used to be like, oh, I like to listen to rock, or I like to listen to disco, or
you bring up
oldies. It's like, no, it's not like, oh, I like to listen to everything.
Yeah. Well, that's
I'll put on Eminem and then I'll put on Queen.
Yeah. Well, and that's an amazing point because in the 90s in high school, you hung out with the people that listened to the same music that you did. I mean, Juggalos are still definitely a thing, though. Dude, I'm gonna go see ICP next month.
Are you gonna go see him?
Yeah.
I just saw Go Bordello's playing actually the day before my birthday, and I might go to that just because of that.
Well, the fucking crazy thing is that the tickets for ICP, it might not.
They never charge a lot, do they?
Well,
their tickets aren't insane.
This is what I'm getting at here. Yeah. I don't remember if it's next month or the month after, but I remember as a teenager going to see ICP, not spending more than like $10.
Yeah.
Right now they're fucking $79.
Are they really?
But they're fucking. Here's the thing: is they're icons now in music. Whatever you want to.
I've always just found them fascinating.
They're
that subculture.
Well, I don't identify as a juggalo. I did as a teenager, but I still enjoy the music. I still listen to it. But they've been around for 30 fucking years.
Yeah. If I was there, I'd watch it, but I would never. I don't think I'd pay money to go watch them.
Dude, their shows are so much fun.
Oh, I don't doubt it.
They're so much
I've known a lot of juggalos too, and they're always great people.
Well, and I can't identify with the culture anymore. Yeah. I can't say
I love watching those documentaries on the Gathering.
Yeah, dude, I've been to the Gathering before.
Juggalos.
I've been to the Gathering. It's good. It's good times, man.
How have you been to the Gathering?
I went when I was 20.
Where?
I want to say it was Iowa.
You went to Iowa to go to the Gathering?
Yeah.
They have a drug bridge?
A drug bridge?
No, that's the thing. There's a drug bridge.
Not that
at least at one festival I remember seeing there was a bridge where you get any kind of drugs you wanted.
Well, it was in the
whoop, whoop.
Yeah, right. Whoop, whoop. It was called the Black Woods, the place that we went, the Black Woods. But it's literally what it really turned out to be was a 3-day camping trip.
Yeah.
And you set up a tent. And you go to whatever artist that you want to see. I remember particularly going to see a wrestling show and then going to see ABK.
Yeah.
And then coming back and there was this guy talking about a Faygo franchise.
There's always a ton of problems with those. So the showers aren't working or the toilets are all packed.
I had fun.
You can't get any food. There's always something going on.
I had fun.
I fucking hate festivals, though.
I had fun. Well, my favorite festival I've ever been to was Ozfest 2000. That dude, I saw fucking Deftones, I saw Godsmack, I saw Pantera, I saw Ozzy Osbourne. I saw, dude, Primer 55 was there.
Number 55.
Yeah, dude.
What was I remember that. I remember
Dude, they're
them.
badass, man. Incubus was there.
Incubus.
Static X was there.
Static X. I remember seeing Static X on it was like I think it was like May 17th, like of like 2001 or something. 2000 or 2001. I remember seeing them play. It was like because it was right around the time I finished like school. I was like, fuck yeah, like. It must have been like 2001 because I remember I was probably like a junior in high school.
Fucking R.I.P. Wayne Static.
Fuck yeah,
dude! And it's so great that they're doing that tour with that guy that sounds just fucking like him.
Really, they are?
Yeah, they're on tour right now with a guy that sounds just.
Are they coming to Tucson?
I hope so.
Fuck, you let me know, man. I'll go with you.
They sound just
kind of fun. We've never gone to a concert together.
No, we haven't. The guy, I don't know the guy's name because he wears a mask. He wears a mask and has like this fake big hair, but he sounds just like him.
All right.
I'm
surprised no one's ever done that no one's done that yet for Linkin Park.
Oh yeah,
because
that'd be hard. Though.
I've actually I loved Linkin Park's first album, and then like I just didn't like them after that.
But
then in the last like couple of years, I've actually really started to enjoy their music.
I have a funny
when it's on the radio.
I have a funny story.
And I
about
met them
Linkin Park.
once actually.
I have a funny story about Linkin Park.
Okay.
I was working at Zia Records, and it was Linkin Park, and I think it was some random band that were coming to the Rialto.
Yeah.
And I had never heard of who they were before.
Were you doing like a meeting, like a signing?
Well, what happened is I shoplifted their first CD
Nice.
at my own work.
Good job.
and I listened to it and I was like, oh, these guys are pretty good. They're coming to town. And it turned out that they were coming to town on my birthday.
Oh shit.
And I had bought tickets, and my girlfriend at the time, her name was Ashley. We got to the front door and my wallet had gotten pickpocketed. And my girlfriend's like, it's his birthday and he bought tickets and we're gonna, I don't know how, but my fucking 18-year-old girlfriend talked us into getting into the fucking Linkin Park concert because it was my birthday.
I remember it sold out too.
Yeah, at the Rialto.
Yeah.
Like I got in.
Fuck.
She's the one that went to Ozfest 2000 with me.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember I met them actually. They were doing a signing in Zia.
Yeah.
And I met them, and I remember talking to Chester for a minute actually.
I met Twisted. I know.
Well, it's not as awesome as meeting Linkin Park.
I beg to differ.
But I had a signed poster from Linkin Park, and I think I got rid of it at some point. Like we sent up something or other, but
I met Powerman 5000.
Oh, when worlds collide. R.I.P.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Yeah. Yeah. It's hard to say R.I.P. for Power Man because they're still there, but they're just not good anymore.
Well, I wasn't saying that about Power Man. I was saying that about the World Collide podcast.
Oh, dude.
You and Ronnie.
Boo.
Because Ronnie, I wish fucking Ronnie come back and do it.
Ronnie, we love you. You know, like when Worlds Collide podcast was so much fun, and we got good numbers on that.
I always
show.
love his Instagram too.
Yeah, he's so funny. Like when we get going, you know, because I've known him since I was like 5.
Yeah.
So like when we'd get going, like we'd like throw out references that were just like specifically to us. Like when we were,
he'd get drunk as fuck too.
Oh, so would I. But there was on one random episode we were doing movies or whatever, and because I used to have this joke with him because we would watch Bloodsport and they do the kumite.
Yeah.
And I was like 10 years.
Kumite.
I would go kumite, kumite, kumite,
Yeah.
ho ho ho.
Yeah.
And we did that on the show, and like that's like ho 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 is not part of the movie, but like I did that, you know. So
yeah, did he get rid of all his podcasting stuff?
I don't know, but you know, when we post this, I'm gonna tag him and like. Ronnie, we love you, man.
Yeah.
When Worlds Collide needs to come back, either that or you need to come on Nerdy Bones.
Or just do Worlds Collide from here.
Yeah,
He wants to come over every few weeks and do it. Because that was a pretty entertaining as fuck podcast.
You've never been on a Worlds Collide yet.
No, I haven't.
Oh my God, plane
Plane.
under attack.
Oh, it was World War III.
So tell me about some of your more music that you enjoy.
Ooh, I put on the radio a lot because I'm always driving for work. I guess where I spend like at least a third of my day driving. So I always put on like a alternative, like classic rock station.
Nice.
You know, I switch between those, and then maybe occasionally, like nothing's on those, I'll put on the 80s station. You know, but if I'm listening to like newer stuff, like I'm usually putting on like actually I love listening to like pop punk.
Okay.
Pop punk's always a good one.
Well, like I said, I was
Newfound Glory.
And I never got into that, but I respect it because they take their influences from like the old schoolers that I was really into. Like I said, like NoFX, Dead Kennedys.
Yeah.
Have you ever listened to the Dead Milkmen?
Yeah.
Or the Queers? which is a controversial name, but that's their name.
They did. It wasn't like didn't they start playing in like the 70s though?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had a song called "I Can't Stop Farting." It's like, "I can't stop farting, can't stop farting," and then there's
That's just the way it fucking was back then, man.
dude, yeah, whatever, and then my cousin used to play bass for a band called the Ataris.
Oh, the Atari.
Yeah.
Your cousin used to play in the Ataris.
Yeah. Jason. Yeah.
Didn't they get back together just recently?
Not with Jason. But yeah, my cousin Jason used to play for the Ataris, and then my other cousin Neil is the lead for a really awesome Irish punk band called Coxswain.
Oh yeah, you told me about them.
Yeah.
Don't we have a sticker on the computer?
We do have a
We
sticker.
do. I'm looking at it right now.
So they're Irish punk, which is Irish punk is really interesting.
Yeah, it'll be St. Patrick's Day soon.
Dude.
It's on a Tuesday, which is normally the night I go out and get drunk, and I'm like, I'd probably be like, you know what? No, I'm not going to the fucking bar on St. Patrick's Day.
I don't work Wednesdays, so.
Well, I go out to drink on Tuesday nights with my friend Greg, and I just don't like dealing with all those fucking people. It's amateur night.
It definitely is, and you know me, I'm Irish.
It's annoying.
Well, you know me and how in touch with my Irish culture.
Yeah.
Like it bugs me. Like a lot of Americans only look at it as a day to drink.
Well, that's what Americans always love their drinking holidays, like Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah, you took
Cinco de Mayo, St. Patrick's Day, 4th of July, Memorial Day,
New Year's Eve,
Christmas Eve, Thanksgiving.
Yeah, you remember we did a whole.
Well, those aren't necessarily drinking days, holidays, but I mean, people find a way to. If it's a holiday, people will drink.
Well,
it's President's Day.
Oh, let's get
drink.
drunk.
We're getting the day off from Martin Luther King Day. Let's fucking drink.
It's time to drink beer.
I got the day off tomorrow. Let's drink.
Well, and you remember I was gonna say shout out, but you can look back on our archive. I did a whole episode on St. Patrick's.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, that's right, we did.
Yeah, so I explained everything about it.
Mm-hmm.
But
it's not a long drunken episode.
Yes, it was.
Were we drunk?
It was St. Patrick's Day when we did it.
We better be.
Megan was here too.
Yeah, we were. Were we drinking Jameson?
I think so.
Was it Jameson? Yeah, we were all pretty drunk.
But it was. But I laid out what St. Patrick's Day is all about. Like the whole chasing the snakes out. There's no snakes have ever existed in Ireland. It was all about the druids and the whatever.
Yeah. I saw some crazy post like a friend put up about Ireland. It was like Irish accomplishments. It was like they had a bunch of accomplishments, and it was like 1600 like invented Irish whiskey or something like that, and they didn't have any more until like 1800. It's like so nothing happened for 200 years.
Well, that's the famine, dude. That's the famine years.
For 200 years?
Yeah, dude.
All right.
It was not good. It was not good.
Anyway, you got so many more things on your list. Let's go.
Do you got one more band that you really love?
Fuck.
That's not a band.
Yeah.
Probably is. It probably is.
Well, yeah. Why isn't there a big band called Fuck?
Fuck.
Shit.
I bet I guarantee you that's a Norwegian death metal band.
Shit.
Shit fuck. Shit fuck.
Everybody Must Get Laid. That's what I'm thinking of for like PCU. That's one of my all-time favorite comedies, actually.
I think one of my random favorite bands is they're called Avatar, and they're out of Sweden. They're black metal.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, nowadays when I listen to when I want to really listen to something, I honestly just put on a podcast. Like Rogan is always my Rogan's always my guy.
Save that. I've got that. Okay, so let's go to comics.
Comics. Okay.
Comic books.
I was gonna say comics. Like
we can do both, but
Well, I was talking about comics earlier.
My favorite comic book everybody knows is between Spider-Man and the Hellblazer. Like I know you like Preacher a lot.
I have to go with Preacher and you just had it in my head. Fuck. Preacher and the Invisibles.
Invisibles is amazing, dude. Invisibles is fucking amazing.
If I had to go like graphic novel comic book, two best ever. Number one be Watchmen.
Yeah.
Number two be Dark Knight Returns.
Oh, so good. Frank Miller. Mm-hmm. Like in Invisibles when they get in the Dolce complex.
Dolce complex. I don't remember that.
Are you serious?
It's been a while since I've read it.
The Dolce complex is like the underground.
Was it the complex?
Yeah.
It was all like metal, like liquid metal.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
There's like the reptilians and the greys. And like where they do human experiments and like graft human heads onto pigeon bodies.
Yeah. That comic was so fucking insane, man. Well, Grant Morrison referred to that as a hypersigil.
Oh, okay.
And he actually said about one point, because he like King Mob was pretty much him. And he said at one point he made King Mob sick, and he got really sick for weeks. And then once he
That's chaos magic.
Once he took him out of that, he got better.
That's chaos magic.
And the doctors couldn't explain why.
It's chaos magic.
Well, he said for years he's gonna write a book on pop magic, but he fucking, as far as I know, he hasn't done it.
Have you ever heard it? Oh, I'm not. No.
What? Well, I also bought the documentary that they did on Grant Morrison.
Really?
Which is really good.
He's an amazing writer.
He isn't I remember a friend of mine, we talked to Greg Rucka, comic book writer, and it was in Vegas, and he, like, my friend just walked up to him and was like, "Hey, like, fucking Greg Rucka, like, I love your shit." And
like, not literally.
and we're both, and me and him are both like really big fans of Grant Morrison, my friend Tanner, if he happens to be listening.
Shout out.
And Greg Rucka described Grant Morrison as he's like a tsetse fly on crack. And for those who don't know what a tsetse fly is, like, think about fruit fly.
Yeah.
It's a really, really small.
They lay eggs on you too.
Do they?
Yeah.
Well, it's like an African fly.
Yeah, they can fuck you up, man.
But it's like that's the way Grant Morrison is. Like, he's just go, 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 go.
Who's your favorite writer? Would it be Grant Morrison?
For comics, Grant Morrison and Garth Ennis. Probably Garth Ennis and then Grant Morrison.
I'd probably have to go. This is kind of
just because I love his work on like Preacher, The Boys.
Yeah, The Boys is so good.
Punisher.
Oh, Punisher. Like, I would have to probably go with and this is just a given, Stan Lee. I'll just start with that because we did a whole episode on Stan Lee. So
Jack Kirby.
Yeah, so it'd probably be Stan Lee, Jim Lee. Stan
Lee was a terrible writer, though.
But his stories are so iconic.
Well, a lot of times wasn't Jack Kirby actually really crafting everything, and he was pretty much do all the artwork, and then Stan Lee would come in behind and make the story.
Yeah, I wish you guys could see my face. I'm like, yeah. But after that,
I'm one of those people who's like, Stan Lee was not a good writer. He was a great idea. He was a great ideas.
He had
great idea guy.
Yeah,
but he was not a good writer.
Yeah. After that would probably be Todd McFarlane. I love Todd McFarlane.
He wasn't really. I mean,
he created the. No, this isn't right. He didn't create the black suit.
Mm-hmm.
He put out this thing to where people could write in for it because I forget what it was. Like somebody like because it was.
You don't think of Todd McFarlane as a writer though,
dude. He created Spawn.
He did, yeah.
He created Spawn. He like Spawn is an amazing book.
But he's a pretty amazing artist. I mean,
yeah. Well, I guess it'd be more fair to say that I like him as an artist than a writer. And then probably, and I had a couple like specific storylines in my head that I'm like drawing a blank on. But when it comes to writers, they're just as important as the artists.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm trying to think of who did the Secret Wars. That's who I'm trying to think of. Yeah, exactly, right? Like, I'm like, oh, God, who was that?
They won in the 80s?
Yeah.
I'll look it up. That's one thing I love about nowadays is we can just Google shit.
Yeah, Google time. Like, when I first started the show with my cousin Nikki, we did Google Music. Like, when we were Googling something, we'd be like, doot, 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 doot. Then...
that was written by Jim Shooter with art by Mike Zeck and Bob Layton.
Bob Layton.
Yeah, Jim Shooter was a big one, and he was around. Yeah, he was, Stan Lee, all those guys.
What is your favorite comic book arc? That's a hard one, right?
I love the Welcome Back, Frank. It's one of my favorites with Punisher.
Hold on, guys.
We got planes. The planes.
Warzone was pretty amazing.
Warzone.
I can't tell you who wrote Warzone.
Yeah, Welcome Back, Frank was definitely always my favorites. It was because it was kind of like the Punisher had been kind of gone for years from comics, and Garth Ennis like completely brought him back with Welcome Back, Frank.
I'm really like disappointed with myself that I can't remember these writers because I had this all on the top of my head. Like, I want to talk about this guy. I want to talk about this guy.
Yeah.
Because like one of my favorite comic book stories of all time is in Hellblazer. It's called The Devil Within, and I just can't remember who wrote that. That's
might have been Ennis, honestly.
Yeah,
he wrote a lot of those.
That's the story arc where John Constantine sells his soul to 3 different demons. Mm-hmm. It all turns into 3 different like loopholes.
Yeah.
To where so this one can't get his soul because of this deal, and so on and so forth. Mm-hmm. So Constantine can literally survive a nuclear blast.
Yeah.
You know, like you just get hit by a bomb and be disintegrated, and his soul can't go anywhere, so his body gets reconstituted.
Oh, you know what was a story arc, and it was a long one too. Was Batman Nightfall?
Oh, dude,
with Bane when he breaks his back.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, and then like
That's
Azrael takes over.
Yeah, Azrael, yeah, and then Dick Grayson for a while too.
And Son of the Demon, which I think was a graphic novel. Actually, it was in
so.
Elseworlds for a long time, and then they finally like brought it into continuity.
What about the Killing Joke?
Killing Joke was
Dude, Killing Joke. Who wrote Killing Joke? I have it right
Alan
there.
Moore. That was Alan Moore.
Alan Moore, yeah, so good. And the imagery in that book is so great. Like when he's got.
Oh, you know what was a great one we haven't mentioned is Sandman.
Sandman,
which Netflix is supposed to be doing a Sandman
series.
How
are they going to do that?
Oof, it's going to be tough, man. But it's what though, when they get that going, and Neil Gaiman's going to be involved in it, they're going to do it fucking right, man.
I just don't know,
because they'll let Neil Gaiman do whatever the fuck he wants.
I just don't know visually how they're going to do it.
Well, he's been trying to do it for years. And finally, he's like with Netflix. He's like, "We're gonna get this."
Didn't he write Animal Man too?
Yeah. Well, that was Grant Morrison.
Was that Grant? Oh, see, that's probably why it's on my head. Yeah, that's probably why I was like, because I have a.
Well, Happy was another good one. Dude. Well, I never read Happy, but I watched the first season of the show. Which I keep waiting for like season 2 to come out on Netflix. Well, they canceled it too, which sucked.
It's because something's good and they fucking like it.
Right?
Like Love, Death, and Robots.
Oh. Dude. I don't know if they canceled.
No,
I think they're going to do another season.
There's another season coming out.
That was a good one, though.
Yeah.
All those little stories. I kind of like it when they do that.
It's so funny because when I got into that show, I thought it was like, because I don't know if this is true, but I read an article that for every Netflix account, they play in a different order. I don't know if that's true or not. I just don't know.
It's possible.
But the first one I saw is when it's like that kind of Pokemon scenario.
Yeah.
That's the first one that
Did you see that? It was like Sturgill Simpson, I want to say.
No, I don't think so.
It was like a visual album.
I know what you're talking about.
It was really good though.
Yeah, I haven't seen that.
Yeah, dude. It's like the story was kind of hard to follow, but it was all anime and it was like by like 5 different artists. I
definitely know what you're talking about.
It was really good. It was like the Animatrix, or that's actually one good one we even brought up. Well, we talked about the Matrix. Animatrix was...
Animatrix, yes.
Which I'm not a big anime guy. I've gotten into it a little bit more over the years, like little bits at a time, but yeah, the Animatrix was fucking phenomenal.
Well, like staying on the comic book vein, the Enter the Spider-Verse was really...
Oh, yeah, that was great. They're doing a sequel to that.
Oh, not the movie, not the movie.
Oh, yeah.
That's the comic book is really... In the comic book... To my knowledge, and I've been reading comic books a long time, that Enter the Spider-Verse is the very first time Marvel thought about a multiverse.
Oh.
That's the very first time they introduced like a multiverse of like, okay, here's Miles Morales, here's the Spider-Man that was a knight, here's the Spider-Man that was this, here's the Spider-Man that was that. And like, I've never been a fan of Miles Morales.
Well, I think that's the one way, like...
God damn.
What's with these planes, man? Well, that's the one way they're going to have to, in order to get, like, a new Iron Man, a new Captain America, a new Thor, eventually the Marvel movies, they're going to have to do, like, another universe type thing. Or they're going to be like, oh, well, there's going to be, like, they're going to have to do, like, a Secret Wars, like, consolidation of universes type thing. Because the Marvel universe, I think, is 616.
616, yeah.
But eventually they're going to have to be like, oh, well, we're going to have to bring in, like, a new, like, okay, this guy's a new Steve Rogers, and this guy's a new Thor, this guy's a new Iron Man.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're going to have to bring them in and be like, okay, well... That's how we justify like recasting these characters.
Well, and that's a way to keep it fresh, I guess.
Yeah. Well, it can't because right now they're starting to be like, okay, all those guys are like kind of going away, and we're gonna have to deal with like the new guys. One thing I was thinking that recently was like, who's the new leader of the Avengers?
I have no idea.
Who?
Be Spider-Man, maybe. Like
maybe
I don't know.
The Hulk.
Hulk can't do that.
Thor's probably. Well, they're doing another Thor movie, but you know what? Honestly, Chris Hemsworth's pretty much about done with Thor, even though he's so fucking good at it. But, eventually he's going to have to stop.
Yeah.
So, like, okay, and he is never really a leader anyway. He's more just, like, the brawler type.
Dude, like, I got to bring up Robert Downey Jr. and Hugh Jackman. Those people are irreplaceable.
Yeah.
Oh, and then Christopher Reeves. Can you think of anybody ever that's played a comic book character better? Oh, maybe Johnny Benthrall.
John Benthrall is the Punisher.
Yeah,
he's really good. I hope they do Punisher again. They're gonna bring him back for it.
Yeah,
because he's perfect for that role.
Dude, yeah, come on, like there's nobody better.
Yeah,
and
he's one who's good in a series.
Yeah,
or the Punisher is best when you're able to do it as a series. A movie just doesn't work as much because you need to like a slow build with him.
Yeah. So let's move on to games.
games.
Games. It could be video games, could be board games.
Well, you know me, Doom is my
Doom,
and
Doom.
the new one's coming out soon.
Mine is Fallout.
Yeah.
Like I'm a Fallout junkie.
We're like two iconic games right here.
Yeah, like I do Fallout. I can throw in Fallout and lose an entire week.
Oh, I'm really looking forward to playing the new Doom game.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Like that, it's coming out on March 20th. And I'm sure a lot of people will be listening to this later or something, but I'm really looking forward to playing that fucking game. I love Doom so much. Coming out on a Friday, I'm going to spend my fucking weekend playing that game.
Yeah.
And I don't do that with any video games, but I fucking love Doom. I got a Doom tattoo, you know me.
Yeah, there we go. That's the fourth time.
Yeah. That's another one, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, but just because I love that game so fucking much.
Well, it's because it's awesome.
Well, it's the cover. It's just so people.
That's
people
your
listening.
that's your most recent ink.
Yeah, that's my
too.
most recent one. It's like the one where he's like kind of. It's the cover for the first one. I got that done in like black and white. But I fucking love that game so much because I'm like I can still go back to this day and play it. And I mean I think actually right now you can get it for like $2.
Nice
on Xbox. Well, I'm saying this to you more than anybody. Download like buy it for like $2, dude. It's the first Doom, second Doom.
I've played it.
Well, yeah, everyone's played Doom. One of my earliest memories, in fact, probably my earliest.
I played it on PC.
My like first or second earliest memory of video games is my dad playing Doom.
Yeah.
My first memory of swearing actually is my dad playing Doom.
Came to kick ass and chew bubble gum.
Well, I just remember he was playing it.
Oh wait, that's a different game.
He was playing with his friends, and he was playing like an online kind of deathmatch thing, and he had to like do laundry or some shit, or he had to go away from the computer, and I was like, oh yeah, your friend said something back, and he's like, and I think I remember going up to my dad and be like, oh, I'm gonna have to swear if I say. He's like, what did he say? He's like, oh, you cocksucker motherfucker. And I was probably like, like 8 years old, and I'm like swearing in front of my dad.
I think my favorite genre is fighting games, just because I'm good at them.
I'm terrible at fighting games.
Well, Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
Like, I have friends. Josh.
Mm-hmm.
He will not play me at that game simply because he can't beat me.
I'm just terrible at those games.
I
can't learn the moves. I mean, my memory just sucks.
Well, here's the thing: is I memorize the combos through movement, not what they are. Like I'll look at it like when I'll look at the combo on the screen. Like, okay, this is how you do this combo. Blah 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 blah. What I do is I practice it with my finger, and I don't remember what button it is. I just remember where my finger goes.
Yeah.
And I can do any combo ever. Like my biggest combo was a 13 move combo, and I brag about it to this day because it was a game called Mortal Kombat Worlds, I think is what it's called, and you could create your own character. You could put a character together and set their combo set. So I named this character Cryo Fist. It was like because
it's a terrible name.
It's a badass name.
No, it's terrible.
No, his name was Cryo and his style was Cryo Fist.
Okay, Cryo's a better name.
Yeah,
Cryo Fist is a terrible name.
His name was Cryo and his style was Cryo Fist because I styled everything on Sub-Zero, but then I used Kung Lao's like Wing Chun speed.
All right.
So I was able to like throw in like these quick fast punches and then freeze you, and then quick fast punch you again and freeze you.
All right.
Yeah. I'm pretty much unbeatable when it comes to fighting games. Like as soon as I learned style, like I had Mortal Kombat versus DC, and I would always play the Flash. Yeah. Because all his stuff is like super quick, so I would just learn the combos. And
that's one thing I love with Doom is it's so fucking fast.
Yeah,
like even playing the last Doom game, like Doom 2016, it was so fucking fast.
Yeah, you showed me that,
and I loved that so much, man. Like I think that's probably on sale right now. Actually,
I remember you showing me a video of like,
dude, I mean that is such a good game. It's like a fucking like long ass campaign too.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's such a good game. the glory or the gory kills.
Yeah,
dude, you go and like chainsaw a motherfucker in half. It's like, and all of a sudden, like all this shit comes out. It's like, yeah.
I played a lot of the Mad Max game.
Yeah, I know how much you love that one.
Yeah, well, I just love the character, and it was hard to not play that game. You could build your own car.
Well, you barely said anything about Fallout too. Like,
well, dude, Fallout.
I haven't gone back to Fallout in a while.
Well, one of my favorite things about Fallout is like picking your perks and abilities and stuff like that. Yeah. And I built in the newest Fallout, you can anywhere you choose, you can build a city and set up like trade routes and stuff like that.
I wonder when Fallout 5 will happen.
I don't know if that will happen.
It'll happen. It just.
Well, I think the next step is.
Well, they really fucked up with 76.
Well, here's the thing.
Big time fucked up with that game.
I know.
Yeah.
But I think the real big next step for Fallout is going to be Fallout Online.
Well, they just did that with 76 though.
That's a beta test, dude.
Well, no, they put that out and they were like, it was like probably 2 years away from actually being viable, and they put it out anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
And just like, yeah, you lost a lot of people with that.
Yeah. I just love the world of Fallout.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not big on first-person shooters simply because I remember buying Halo when it first came out.
I was about to bring up Halo. Halo is one of my all-time favorites.
Halo's amazing.
I love it, Halo.
Well, there's just no other game.
That's the reason I bought an Xbox.
Yeah.
Honestly, it was Halo.
There's just no other first-person shooter, like maybe other than Doom, that actually holds up to being a first-person shooter. Like, I have a Battlefield, and I just can't stay on it because all it is your hands and a gun in front of your face, and I need more than that. Like, I prefer third-person shooters, like
a Mass Effect.
Cyber Warriors.
I never finished the second Mass Effect. I got like halfway through and just kind of stopped because I like to like go through missions and then play the side quests and then like keep going. That's why I never finished like Fallout 4.
Yeah. Well, honestly, if I have to make an honest admission here, I've never ever actually finished a Fallout game because I
finished 3 like within like a week.
Well, I just do all the side quests. Like, I just do all the others. I don't ever actually do the storyline. I just do other shit.
Yeah. With 4, I just wanted to do a bunch of side quests before I was like doing the story, and then it just got to be like so many fucking side quests.
And then like with Elder Scrolls, all I ever did was like crafting.
Yeah.
And like, I just want, because all I did with Elder Scrolls was online, like doing raids.
Yeah.
So like I never actually did the storyline, but like Diablo, like all I would ever do is online, and max my character out, and then create a new character. Like, I never actually did like a storyline. I just always would hook up with somebody online and go do a raid and get more XP to max my character out to make my character stronger. Like, I never did anything for the game itself.
Nice.
So let's move on. This is one that I don't have a lot of input on.
Okay.
Sports.
The
only sport I enjoy is martial arts wrestling. Like martial arts and wrestling.
Well, I like football personally.
Yeah, I just don't have input on that because I just don't enjoy it. But
I just kind of grew up with watching it with my dad, honestly. Like, we'd watch baseball on the weekends. Like, on Saturdays, he'd like put on a baseball game, and we kind of like, he'd like watch in the background. We'd maybe like do some cooking or something. We'd like do some barbecuing. And then football, we just watch on Sundays. I remember actually, I always remember that on Sundays, whenever I'm doing my laundry, like, my dad would, he'd always be ironing his uniform for work for Monday, and we'd be watching Sunday Night Football together.
Did you have like any teams that you really enjoyed?
No, I'm a born and raised Niners fan.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a 49ers fan.
That's San Francisco?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm surprised I know what that is.
Which sucks. They lost the fucking Super Bowl, but
what
you gonna do?
One sport that I really enjoy, it's actually from Ireland. It's called hurling.
Oh, yeah.
I've talked to you about that
You were on
before.
a hurling team for a while.
A long time.
Yeah.
If you guys have never seen hurling, they call it the fastest sport on grass. It's literally rugby mixed with hockey mixed with sword fighting. Like, you remember my hurling stick?
Yeah.
Like, you're completely allowed to swipe somebody with this huge ass stick and like take the ball, and you're not allowed to touch the ball with your hand. Like, it's too much to explain on a podcast, but guys, if you're interested at all, check out hurling. HURLING. It's a fucking crazy ass sport. The field itself is 150 yards, and my field was called I forget the Irish phrase for it, but it's called long hammer.
Okay.
And my whole job was to be in the back and take the ball and just smack it as hard as I can to send it to the other side of the field. And then I would just stand there while the other guys fucking swatted each other.
Fuck.
It's brutal. And the whole thing is, the origin of hurling is they used to do that to avoid wars.
Okay.
Like two different countries in Ireland be like, okay, we're opposing, we'll have a hurling match, and that because less people would die.
Yeah.
Like, and the whole thing is like the hurling stick is shaped like an axe for that reason.
Because of sports. So baseball. I used to love going to like every once in a while I'd like to go into like a AAA game. Like in Vegas, they had a AAA team, so I'd go there every once in a while with a friend of mine. And it's cool just to kind of sit and drink and eat some fucking hot dogs and shit. It's just kind of enjoyable to like just sit there and watch a game.
It's more of a social thing at that point.
It kind of is, because you just hang out with like, hang out with a friend and do that. And then honestly, my favorite thing to go to is like a hockey game.
Yeah.
Like we have a really good like.
I went to a fight and a hockey game broke out. Oh, but
Well, we have a really good team here in Tucson. The Tucson Roadrunners. And every once in a while, like I'll go to a game like maybe like 3 or 4 times a year. I'll go to a local hockey game, and they're always just a ton of fun. It just, you go out to one of those games like, okay, I'm gonna spend like $30 to $40 on a ticket, and then you're gonna spend like another like $30 on beer, $40 on beer. And but it's a lot of fun, honestly. I love going to those games. Like I really want to go to another one soon. And then basketball. I don't really enjoy the NBA, but college basketball I enjoyed. But really, I haven't been to a game in a long time, in years, since I used to go to like when I still lived in Vegas. I went to UNLV games, and that was always a lot of fun with a friend of mine. Again, it was just cool to kind of sit there and kind of talk about that shit.
Yeah.
I think when it comes to sporting events, you have to go with like somebody, like a girlfriend or a boyfriend or, like a friend. Just to kind of like it's because it's fun. Like I'll take people. Like I've taken people to the hockey games that don't really know shit about hockey, and they still have a fucking blast.
So one that I just do, like Josh, my homeboy, like UFC brother. Yeah. Like because they both have.
See,
I love it.
Yeah, I know, but I just can't get really into it.
Warriors bashing the fuck out of each other. That's way harder than hitting a puck down the ice. Like,
it's just not that enjoyable to me.
Well, I understand.
Yeah,
I understand. But him and I are both lifelong martial artists, and like I noticed like when Josh and I watch it together, like we kind of take into the fact of like technique. Okay, so this guy took a fucking elbow to the face. How hard is it to function after that? Like, how hard is it to, like, you take an elbow to the face and it cuts your eyebrow to the point where you can't see, and then you're defending against kicks and have to think about ground game. Yeah. And have to think about, because there's points involved, which really don't matter if you knock the other guy out. Points don't fucking matter. But like, seriously, like, have you ever been rocked before?
Yeah, it's one of those things I have to think about it. I probably haven't.
I've been rocked before. Like, I remember, I think you were still working with me at the time, and I was coming out of the Circle K, and the guy came out and punched me in the face.
And you think it was because of your ex-girlfriend?
I think so. What I just remember so clearly, because
also when you got robbed, it was probably your ex-girlfriend.
Yeah,
you got a bad problem with ex-girlfriends.
Yeah. But I came
addictive ass ex-girlfriends.
That's right. Oof. But I came walking out of a Circle K, and I was putting my backpack on, and I got punched in the face, full haymaker punched in the face. And it split my lip, and I didn't fall down. And the guy, I could visibly see it in his face. They're like, "Oh fuck, this guy didn't fall down," because like he was a good foot shorter than me.
Yeah,
I'm 6'1", and like he like just rocked me in the face, and I like went stumbling back, and I didn't fall down, and you could see it in his face. Oh fuck, and then he took off, and I was just like standing there like, what the fuck just happened? Because I remember when he hit me, I was like, when he hit me, I was like, what the hell? Yeah. That's literally what came out of my mouth. Yeah. He's like, because you're a bitch, and I didn't fall down. And he was like, oh fuck, this big fucking 6'1" white guy didn't fall, because it was a black guy, just whatever. Yeah. And he's like, oh, this guy didn't fall down. I'm gonna take off running. And then the cops came, and I was like, oh yeah, he's a mental patient. But like he wanted to fight, and the thing is he hit me, and I didn't fall. And somebody of that size is expecting, he was expecting this haymaker and to fall down and be like, oh, I won. Yeah. But I didn't fight back. I don't know why I went on that story, but I took a punch. About
UFC.
I took a punch to the face, and I didn't fall down. Yeah. Yeah. How many of you can say that?
Right.
Anyway,
what's next?
We're up to podcasts next. What's your favorite?
I'd probably have to go Rogan.
Yeah. Well, there's so many. Like, Rogan literally is the most successful podcast in the world.
The Podfather.
He's the Podfather.
As you referred to
I said that before. Yeah. I don't know if I came up with that phrase or it was like.
Nah, I think somebody else might have given it.
He's the Podfather.
Even though he'll refer to other people as that. Yeah. It's like, okay, well, like because he was around in like the beginning of like, when podcasting was really like just first starting.
Well, him and Brian Redband did it. Like, I forget the service.
There was another guy who was like doing it first, and that he credits as being like the first like, real
Corolla.
podcast, or not Corolla. I mean, I don't know. But no, I love listening to Rogan. Usually, I always look to see like who he's got on. Because I'll usually listen to that. Yeah. And I'll listen to that for like a few days. Like I'm listening to one with him and like a fucking physicist right now.
That's so, dude. Like when he has scientists on, are the best.
Oh, I loved it.
It's the best.
But then another one I've been listening to is that I really love is Macaulay Culkin does a podcast called
What's
Bunny
that?
Ears.
What's it called?
Bunny Ears.
Okay, yeah. Bunny ears. Yeah,
It's really good, man. Like I will say, like he talks over like his guests a lot, but like he did like the one I listened to most recently was like him and Bob Saget. It was like a two-parter, and it's cool because he's friends with everybody who comes on the podcast. Like yeah, it was like Bob Saget. I've listened to him. Well, he did stuff with like the Red Letter Media guys who he does videos with a lot. Will Wheaton.
Nice.
James Rolfe, who does Angry Video Game Nerd, which is my favorite YouTube channel. Just like a lot of those guys like that. He just like finds guys. Like he did one with the guy who does Defunctland.
Oh, wow.
Which is one of my favorite YouTube channels as well. Like,
wow.
I think I've gotten you to watch Defunctland.
Yeah,
before,
definitely.
Like, if you haven't watched Defunctland, it's fucking fantastic. If you like a kind of extinct theme car, fucking planes flying over again.
We're in a war zone.
It's like the
apparently.
third or fourth time. I don't know why they do it on Sundays.
Not more.
But yeah, Defunctland, they do like kind of cancel or like extinct like theme park rides, stuff like that.
Okay.
Oh god, he actually did a series on like he's done some stuff on Walt Disney, like one of the craziest parties like Walt Disney ever threw recently. I don't know, he's done so much stuff, man. The best thing he's done is he did like a 4 or 5 part series, I think, on Jim Henson.
Wow.
On his whole life, or a retrospective. It was really fucking good. Like he could have taken it and like put it out as a documentary. It was that
wow.
good. But it was, yeah. If you're ever if you're interested in Jim Henson at all, like I highly recommend watching his series on Jim Henson. It's really fucking good.
Have you ever listened to No Dogs in Space?
No, I don't listen to many podcasts, man. I'm really bad about that.
I got a lot on this one.
I'm a little bit in that world, but
No Dogs in Space they're from the LPN network, which I'll get into later.
Yeah,
they pick a artist and do like a 5-part series on them. The last one they just did was Iggy Pop and the Stooges.
Oh fuck yeah!
Yeah,
that's an interesting one.
Yeah, the No Dogs in Space is really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so it's Marcus Parks from last podcast.
Yeah, and
his wife Carolina, and they pick an artist, pick a style, and just dive deep. And
I tried listening to Donnell Rawlings' podcast, and it was he is just so intense and just yelling. He's like fucking just
too much.
Doesn't
right?
talk. Yeah, he's too much, man. He just doesn't fucking shut up.
It's like a Bill O'Reilly.
Oh my god, he just does not shut up.
Well, and then so I have to mention last podcast on the left. You guys have heard me say this 1,000 times.
I mean, I know you're into it, like really into it, but you said like just like lately you've been listening to a lot more of it.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Like they did Om Shmrikyo, The Children of God.
Did you watch Wild Wild Country yet?
No.
Oh, dude, I told you to watch that last time.
I just haven't.
Fuck, dude, you love that. It's because it's like it'll take up a day.
Yeah.
Like take a day and just like a Wednesday, and then just like watch it, and you're like, oh my god, Nick, you'll text me like, dude, that was fucking awesome.
Do you know anything about Jonestown?
Well, I think we might talk about that too.
Because that was I think that's why that came up.
Yeah.
And then one of my other favorites, my go-to is The Dollop.
The Dollop.
Have you ever listened to The Dollop?
No.
You should, man. You should. Okay, so what The Dollop is 2 stand-up comedians. One of them is an amateur historian and reads a story to the other one that has no idea what the story is going to be about. And then they just riff back and forth. It's great shit.
One that you should shout out because you...
Where's the line?
Yeah, I was say, where's the line?
Yeah, dude. They shouted us out. Kevin, thank you.
Well, the last episode, which I didn't download, I was really tempted to. But it was like, okay, this sounds a little insane. Is about sexual domination and male chastity.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like hold on, we got some.
It was a Valentine's Day episode they did.
We got some aerial
where it's like they talk to a It's like the 5th time now.
Yeah. They
talked to like a dominatrix, I guess, about their.
She's been on Rogan.
Boy.
Same woman's been on Rogan.
Yeah, some crazy shit.
God, it's because we decided to do a podcast today.
Right?
They're
this usually happens.
They're gonna throw some shade.
I was listening to Kate Quigley for a little while.
Kate Quigley's good. Quigley's good.
She's really funny.
And one of my other favorites, you guys know that I listen to this. I've shouted it out more than once. Sasquatch Chronicles.
Yeah,
I have a lot of fun with that. Like that look on your face was funny.
Bigfoot,
and then the confessionals.
Yeah, the confessionals.
I was on the confessionals.
I know you were.
Yeah. The episodes that called Lights in the Sky.
Well, one thing I told you to watch, which I don't think you've watched either, is Hellier.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Hellier, which is really, it's fucking insane. Like, you want to go like paranormal, like go down a rabbit hole type shit. They go down a fucking rabbit hole, like more than like it's fucking insane because they go into like the big thing too is they go into like Mothman Chronicles.
Oh, okay.
Which I actually like first audiobook I ever got was Mothman Chronicles, and I downloaded it and I listened to maybe like half of it. I'm like, I don't think I can listen anymore because I'm like, it's just so out there. I'm like, I don't believe any of this shit. Like,
dude, Mothman is a weird one. It really is.
it's like they go into like giant, like these giant fucking like birdmen pretty much, and they're like, oh yeah, they have like 100-foot wingspan. I'm like, I don't know. Like,
the
just
one,
no.
the one that gets me is the Jersey Devil. Like that shit. There's just no way.
Yeah.
Do you know anything about the Jersey Devil?
Not much.
I'll just give you a quick synopsis. Yeah. Okay, so the Jersey Devil was the 13th child of this lady that cursed this child because it was the 13th child and she was tired of having kids. Mm-hmm. And she's like, may you be a devil, and it came out as a baby, and then at like 10 minutes after its birth became this huge hooved thing with a horse head and wings, mm-hmm. and then fucking escaped out the chimney. And there's other stories where like it killed everybody in the room and then left out the front door. And it's like the Jersey Boroughs is like supposed to be where it's at. Mm-hmm. It's just you know, and it's just silly. Yeah. But it's actually tied to like a lot of American colonialism. Okay. You know, there's, you know, if you're interested, guys out there, just look into it. There's like the Jersey Devil is actually tied into a lot of like people that are in power at the time. Like there was what they call pamphlets. Like people that didn't like somebody else, instead of a Twitter war, they would put out like pamphlets. Okay. They would like literally put out.
That was like the Revolutionary War.
Yeah. They would put out like pamphlets of like, oh, this guy did this and this and this and this.
You know, one old story I'd like to learn more about is like the very first colony, like the first colony, and like the only evidence we have that they were ever really there, or whatever happened to it was it just said Roanoke.
Oh yeah,
I think was what it was.
Roanoke. Yeah, I know how it's spelled too. Yeah.
Or it wasn't even the name of the town either. It was just or no, Croatoan.
Well, Rono.
Well, no, that was the name of the town. Or maybe that was it. But no, there was like one word that was carved on a tree and it just said like Croatoan.
Oh, and that goes to Supernatural.
Yeah, and that goes to Supernatural. But no, that was always like and that's one of those like mysteries that's never been solved and probably will never be solved unless time travel was invented. Because a lot of people were like, oh well, you know, somebody carved that tree, and it was probably like Native Americans that came along and just fucking like grabbed everybody and just murdered the fuck out of them. Because it was just a village that was there, and everyone disappeared.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly.
And they say like, you know, like food was still on the table or something like that, or like everyone was like gone.
They went in and it was like everybody just was gone. Yeah, like there was food on the table. I remember reading there was bathwater drawn. Mm-hmm. Like it's just people just disappeared,
and no one ever found any evidence of them.
Yeah, like it could be anything. Yeah, it's
I think some people say they might have like moved to like inland or something
and just left.
There's a lot of theories out there, but that'd be an interesting mystery to find out about. Yeah. It could be just be something really simple, but could be like kind of paranormal too.
So my last topic at an hour and a half is reading.
An hour and 45.
Are we? I was looking
almost,
at the wrong.
Yeah.
So reading. What's your favorite stuff you've been reading lately?
Fuck.
Or at all?
I hardly ever read. I have my biggest thing is I have a really bad habit of buying books and not reading them. Yeah. Well, I will say my two favorite authors, I'm a huge Bukowski fan, Charles Bukowski. My favorite book of all time is probably Post Office.
Okay.
Which I bought, again, not too long ago, and I wanted to reread. I just haven't gotten around to it. And the other one would be Stephen King.
Oh, Stephen King's
I love Stephen King. Well, I have a big Dark Tower tattoo. There's number 5, I think.
Ah, blam!
5
times.
Yeah, I think it's my number 5 for tattoos.
Well, that's why this episode's what entertains us.
Well, let's see. I mentioned Batman, Firefly.
We didn't do Hellboy, which you have a tattoo.
I do have a Hellboy tattoo, so I'll get a number 6 on that. So Hellboy. What else? Star Wars. That's 4. Fuck, what else?
I don't remember. They're all over the place.
Yeah, right. So, anyway,
I've been reading this. I've been reading this series by S.M. Sterling. Mm-hmm. It starts off with "Dies the Fire." Okay. It's a post-apocalyptic story. Mm-hmm. The really weird thing about this is they find an energy source, so they're actually able to restart electricity. So this one starts off where this guy gets into a dirigible and it falls down, whatever. I haven't started this because my girlfriend got me this, and my girlfriend got me this, which I haven't started yet. It's the second part in the second part in the story called The Protector's War.
Protector's War.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
but yeah, I haven't started. Haven't started it. Pretty interesting though.
And for some reason, I'm reminded of I think it's called The Long Walk by Stephen King.
Yeah.
You read that one?
Yeah.
That's a great. Honestly, that to me, that was kind of the precursor to the Hunger Games.
Yeah.
I almost wonder if the author ever read it and be like, I could do something fucking better than this.
Yeah, exactly.
And I can expand it. Because we're no one who's ever read The Long Walk. It's a Stephen King story.
I read that in high school.
Yeah, it's a Stephen King book but he wrote it under Richard Bachman, and it's pretty much like these kids. I think do they volunteer?
Yes,
they're volunteer to go in this walk, and it's pretty much like 100 kids go in, and they can't ever stop, and they get like a certain amount of food to go a long way, but they can't sleep, and it's just like if they fall behind it all, they like shoot them. Pretty much like the like referees or the people on the course, they kill them, and then like only one kid survives out of 100, I think. But you pretty much have to walk until you're like
dead.
Yeah, and then if you stop and it's like you're dead, you know. I don't even think you can like stop and I think like you get like 5 seconds, like you can get like maybe 30 seconds where you can actually stop. Or maybe less than that, just like take a shit or something.
For me, I'd just be walking.
If you got to pee, you pee while you're walking. Yeah, that's what guys do. It's like it's been a while since I've read it, but it's like, and they give you like little packs of like food, but you can't ever stop. Like you can't rest, anything like that.
Did you ever read The Road?
Yeah, I did actually.
That's an amazing book. And the movie, dude.
I think it's on. Honestly, I read it and I just thought, because I had a friend of mine who was like, "Oh, dude, you gotta read it. Like Cormac McCarthy's so amazing." I'm just like, and I read it. I was like, it was all right.
Viggo Mortensen was in the movie.
I mean, the movie and the book I kind of enjoyed equally. I thought the book I think was a little bit better. I think the ending I liked more.
Well, the whole thing
in the book.
The whole thing
because the endings were different, right?
Right. The whole thing in the book is the people that weren't cannibals were missing their left thumb because they cut their left thumb off to identify as not being a cannibal. It's because what
the fuck?
Yeah, it's because like you would encounter somebody. And you would have to make a snap decision.
Yeah.
And, like, so people that didn't have their left thumb, like, okay, I don't eat people. This is how you can tell right away. That's literally what's in the.
Fuck that.
I would just like write it on my forehead or something.
Not a cannibal. Oh, you're a cannibal. I fucking know it.
Yeah, like I don't eat people.
Yeah.
But that's one of my favorite books of all time. Like, and we talked about it earlier with Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy is one of my favorite books.
I honestly read that. And I feel it's honestly like really overrated, in my opinion.
Dude.
I never actually finished. I read most of a Restaurant at the End of the World or the End of the Universe,
End of the Galaxy,
or End of the Galaxy.
Well,
no, I think it's
Universe.
And I read most of it, and I was like, honestly, to me, that was better than fucking Hitchhikers.
It goes Hitchhiker's Guide, So Long and Thanks for All the Fish, Have Spacesuit Will Travel, and then Restaurant at the End of the Universe.
Because I bought like the complete works, and like I read a bunch of it.
Did you ever read any Edgar Allan Poe?
No.
I have
It's funny you mention that because like Poe like is a big character in Altered Carbon, which we were talking about. Which that's actually I wouldn't mind reading that series because I know it's a lot different than the series.
Like I don't know much about it. I'm gonna have to watch it myself. I just don't know much about it.
Fuck. Like, well, actually, and I'll say like one author I really enjoyed, and he's total popcorn. Is what is it? Ernest Cline, who did Ready Player One.
Ernest Cline, yeah, that's a
Ready
great
Player
book,
One
man.
and Armada. Actually, I think Armada was better.
I haven't read Armada.
Armada was really good. Like I love Ready Player One. In fact, the movie kind of grew on me because he kind of like it was changed. It was changed from the book, and I like the book because they in the book, of course, it goes into more, and it's different.
There's so much in the book has got so much more of like these characters.
It builds it a little bit more.
Yeah.
They also say like with the girl, like they kind of like made her like
What's her name?
Artemis.
Artemis.
Yeah,
yes.
they made her more of like a damsel in distress, or they didn't flesh out her character enough. In the movie, they definitely did, but even then, she's like, "I'm so ugly. I'm so ugly. I have this little. I have this birthmark,
Tiny
right
little
here."
birthmark.
And it's like, are you fucking kidding me?
You're hot.
Like, yeah, you're attractive. Like, shut the fuck up. Yeah, but no. His second book, Armada, was more like a Last Starfighter. kind of.
Oh, that was good.
It was really good, dude. Honestly, I think it's better than Ready Player One. And he's supposed to be. I think he's writing a sequel to Ready Player One right now, which I
don't
honestly
know how you would do that.
I don't know, but
Being
I'll
in the
read
same
it.
world. Being in the
I'll
same
read. No,
world.
I'll totally read it because I remember when I got Ready Player One. Like I read it in like 2 days.
It's a good.
And it was like a 350-page book, and I'm like, I don't normally read that fast, but I couldn't put it down. I could not put it down. Like I was enjoying it so much. I was like, fuck, I have to keep reading it.
There's
I
a
have
lot to
read
be said for that. There's a lot to be said for that. When you
I was like, I sit down for like 8 hours and read this book. I'm like, fuck, like I'd never do this.
like, if I honestly had to say the last book that like I just could not put down,
yeah,
it's a serial killer book. It doesn't count.
yeah, of course.
Like I said, Nick, I'm not going to kill you. I promise.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, this has been Rufus the Villain, man.
Oh, you're gonna end it now?
Well, do you want to keep going?
Fuck, I don't know what else we talk about, man.
We went through all my topics.
I think we did go through everything.
Thank
I mean,
you.
what was it? What was the top, or what was the main topic we started with?
What entertains us?
What entertains us? Fuck.
We've been rambling for an hour and a half.
Well, not much entertains me right now. This entertains me. And I just should have like, are you not entertained?
Are you not entertained?
Are you not entertained?
Got to do a thumbs up or a thumbs down.
Yeah, right.
All right, we love you guys. Thanks for tuning in for Rufus the Villain.
Yeah, it was the first one since August. So.
Yeah. Like we'll do Philosophical Bones pretty soon.
It's like 5 months. Yeah. Over 5 months.
What I'm thinking is for the next Nerdy Bones, I have a very extensive research on Robin Williams.
Yeah.
So we'll put that together for you guys pretty soon.
Yeah.
All right, brother.
Yep.
Thank you for listening.
Oh, you don't need to do the Nerdy Bones?
We're not Nerdy Bones right now.
Oh, we're not. Oh. So
right.
you're just going to do a thank you?
Thank you. I can do, hey, Nerdy Bones. And we're out.